Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in positive territory this morning. Pretty muted start to the morning, though, as we head towards the open here. About an hour before we get things going. Thank you for joining us once again. We're coming off a bit of a mixed showing on Monday. We did get a little bit of positive momentum as far as stimulus is concerned. They are still talking about a possibility of getting a deal done in Washington for further stimulus before the holiday break over the new year. While at the same time, much needed COVID-19 vaccines begin to roll out across both the U.S. and here in Canada. People in Toronto getting the vaccine for the first time as of yesterday. We had decent moves for the NASDAQ yesterday, the tech-heavy index leading the way as far as the rally was concerned on Monday, along with the Russell, S&P, and Dow pretty flat by the end of the session. We're watching Chinese electric vehicle makers this morning. Apple shares also higher. We'll talk about why. And Eli Lilly with some deal-making news this morning. We'll have a look at that. It's Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. Pretty red right across the board here. Shanghai leading the way, full percent, and then some to the downside. Hong Kong also in negative territory. You can see 0.7%. Just the Nifty in India making it back to positive territory. Let's go over to Europe, see how things are shaping up so far. Mix showing here. Germany leading to the upside, 0.7%. England's lower. Spain, the Swiss market, and Sweden all to the downside. Turkey higher there at the bottom as well. Let's go over to North America, see how futures are looking. Yeah, in positive territory, as I mentioned. The Dow and S&P trying to get back up to highs. Looks like we're getting there anyways. The NASDAQ was leading when I first sat down this morning, still 0.7%. The TSX futures here in Toronto, about 0.5% to the upside so far. Brazil's open, trading higher. We have Bitcoin higher again today, both crude oil and gold at the bottom there in positive territory as well. Good morning, guys. It is Tuesday. Positive start here this morning. A little bit more muted as far as the overall sentiment is concerned this morning for the markets. Not as much happening in the pre-market, but individual names to look at. We had the entire chip sector upgraded this morning. So we're going to talk about AMD, Intel as well moving around, but lots of things to look at as always.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're up on the session here, and as you mentioned, some positivity surrounding a possible stimulus package. Of course, we're always going to be waiting around for that. I was just sort of enamored, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later. Airbnb again testing some bottoms, and I think it's been very interesting to see the weakness in some of these names going into, you know, like the second and third days of trade, even with C3 AI as well. So they're going to remain in play even if they're not on the watch list. We're certainly concerned with how they're trading. EV space is always going to be there. I'm celebrating a bit of a win here, Sean, and I'm advancing in my fantasy football playoffs despite the fact that I went to bed instead of watching what was apparently a very exciting Baltimore game, and I allegedly won my matchup in the final few seconds. Apologies, Andrew and Bala, but yeah, better luck next year, guys.
Don't worry, those jokers aren't watching the show. So, yes, what's up? Yeah, good. Congratulations to Neil on that victory there. What a wild game that was in the NFL yesterday. So, wow. Probably the most entertaining game of the year, 47-42 on a Monday nighter. So good one from that rivalry. Baltimore versus Cleveland. I don't know if any of those teams are going to do anything. I still like Buffalo and Kansas City. I think obviously in the AFC. I don't know. Pittsburgh obviously has some holes in that armor, and we'll see about that. But yes, exciting day today. I'm excited for Apple. We've got AMD taking out highs. I'm really super excited about trying to play the long on some of those names. We got Rocket breaking out finally as well, and a few other names. Apple. Hey, look, own it, don't trade it, right? But today we're trading Apple, guys, breaking out again. And Peloton still wants to go higher. This market is like on a non-stop movement to the high side. I actually like Quantum today as well, QS. So we'll be looking at a few different things.
Yeah, we were talking about that Peloton yesterday being added to the NASDAQ 100, along with Match Group. We didn't actually mention that yesterday, but Match Group, the other one, getting the upweight to the NASDAQ 100. So we'll have a look at Match coming up We do have a number of things coming up, guys. First of all, thank you if you were one of the members that joined us yesterday. We had our every other week members only Q&A. Thank you for everyone that came out. Lots of great questions and lots of great topics covered. Again, we do that every other Monday. So not again this coming Monday, but in 2 weeks we'll have another one. Before we get started here, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria.
Good morning, Brandon, and hello, guys. Let's have a great trading morning together. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit thumbs up. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's get it started by having a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared yesterday. Another great day for day traders here at Day Trade the World. 60,000 coming out of, again, we're seeing a nice mix of markets here. Canadian markets at the top there. Some futures action, NASDAQ, New York, and NYMEX. So 60,000 number one yesterday. More U.S. there. 30,000 more Canadian content here. The CSE, Canadian Securities Exchange, 28,300. Got to go all the way down to number 5 before we get into Europe. More Canadian content there, number 6, 16,000. So another great day for traders here at Day Trade the World. We have lots to cover this morning, guys, before we get to the watch list. If you are joining us for the first time, make sure you sign up for the watch list. It is absolutely free. We try to get it out to you every single morning before we come on at 8:30. I want to talk about Genius Brands here, guys, before we get into all things vaccine related. I saw this pop up yesterday. We're higher again this morning. Bit of a fan favorite. If you're new to the show, Genius Brands, one of those ones that can give you big, high-flying moves. They announced back at the end of last week that the Cartoon Network, which they own, is going to be available on LG smart TVs. There was an upgrade yesterday on the stock as well. So back to the upside for GNUS again today, guys.
Yeah, it's like this stock actually has been making a couple of runs similar to this since it bounced off 125 here. But the interesting thing for me is we're dropping a video on scalp trading, and lo and behold, Genius Brands sort of fits that bill. It's like you knew somehow, Brendan. And I think we can talk about 10-15% moves all we want, and we have retraced half of that back to the downside here. But when you're trading GNUS, first things first, this is pre-market. We're talking about an hour before the open. And you look at these levels, and you're getting 50, 60,000 share orders on an individual gateway, sometimes lower than that. So it's going to chew through a lot of volume, definitely something you can leverage up on. But it also means you're going to be scalp trading a name like this. I'm immediately looking at this $2 level. It's not just that it's a psychological type of thing, but anytime I see, multi-day rally on Genius Brands, news okay, but not groundbreaking. You've already seen a bit of a pullback in the pre-market here. I just feel like Genius could have some trouble through $2. And what I would love to see, which I don't yet, and I always keep an eye for, is I just want to see if some selling jumps into that $2 level. And I mean, you're talking at least 250,000 shares, something like that off of the open. You see something like that, and you want to jump in and just take 98.99 the first time through to the short side, maybe make a few pennies off of it there, and you can leverage up. Now, that's the general idea. I don't like that kind of a play the second or third time around when everyone's gotten their eyeballs on the same level. But there could be some scalp trading for sure in Genius Brands today, one of the volume leaders pre-market.
Yeah, I mean, $2 is like right here. What's up, everybody? Good to see you today. And yeah, hopefully we'll get some nice little wins here. But yeah, thanks for bringing this up, Brandon. I actually wasn't even really on my radar. I know they're selling a lot of LG TVs. I saw on our Black Friday deals and Boxing Day here in Best Buy and whatnot. I think LG is making some moves. So this is not bad. This is $2 area here. When we broke it the first time back in June, it literally went to, that's what my kids say, Dad, literally. It went from $2 up to $7.50 there. And then when it broke it back to the downside, it was some resistance spots there, some support, I guess, on the downside. And then when it finally broke, it didn't really come back. And since then, we're now revisiting it a second and third time here. So we revisited it back here, and now we'll do it again. I like a $2 break, and I think it's definitely worth hitting and hitting quite well here. I think it could be scalped through, looking at 210, something like that. Take off 5%, of a win, and then hopefully we can get the full 10% up to 220, where we'll take a little bit more off. But I'm going to go long here, no matter when it breaks, even though it's a little early now, Brendan, 840. But I like the $2 level, and then yesterday's closing price of Where were we? I mean, it's right around here, $1.80. Let's just use $1.80 as a bottom. So there you go. So that's about a 1-to-1 risk ratio for me early here. We'll go $2 long on a break, and we'll use it down to 180, and then we'll look for 220. So we'll see if we can get 1-to-1, and then if we're lucky enough, that 220 will be distant past, and we'll get our way back up to $3 or so.
Okay, let's have a look at, Sean, do you want to show that imbalance locator for snow? We can talk about snowflake. On the sell side here, it looks like this morning we're getting
Sure, yep. Let's go.
some volume coming in. Yeah, it's
I
lockup
messaged
expiration
you.
for snowflake.
Okay, good.
So
Is
it
it
is
the lockup?
actually, yeah, it is actually today. So it's 32.2 million shares going to hit the market as of today for snowflake. So
did you
it
get
is
the
a
imbalance
sell.
locator up, guys? I don't know if they showed it. There
There
it
we
is.
go.
Okay, yeah, good. And it's funny, Brendan, because this is the thing. We talk about using our tools, and all I did was I just noticed, I said, out of nowhere, snow was up here, and we don't have it on our watch list, blah, 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 blah. So we asked Brendan, and he came up, and thank you, Brendan, for that, but 2.59 million shares. Did you want to talk about it a little bit, Brendan? Or?
Well, yeah, I was just going to mention, 32.2 million or 345.8 are going to be added to a float that is currently 345.8 million. So just 90 days, guys. We just did a video over on Market Wisdom about IPO lockup expiration. Just 90 days for Snowflake since the IPO. So one to watch this morning for sure, coming up at the open. Let's talk about Moderna here a little bit. We had the FDA coming out this morning giving them emergency use authorization for their vaccine in the U.S. So the second one now going to be available for use throughout the U.S. There was some little extras added to the end of the statement, including some efficacy data or further efficacy data, and also immunity data that they want more of once the authorization was given. So they were fine giving them the emergency use, but they want some more data after the fact.
Yeah, and even in addition to that, I think the number was like 2.9 million doses Pfizer shipping out, and there's going to be twice as many for Moderna. Of course, we also know that their vaccine does not have issues. Well, I shouldn't say it doesn't have issues, but certainly can be stored at lower temperatures, which is a big deal for transportation and storage. It makes it a little bit easier to get out there. Moderna's been making quite the run already. Into this news, you had the big spikes when the efficacy data was coming through, when Pfizer got its approval as well. So there is the opportunity to at least look at what has been a decent trade rolling over, off of pre-market highs. I actually like the just going into this 164.25 from yesterday. I actually like that a little bit better. I've seen Moderna press through and break those pre-market highs and then come back. All that said, we already are pulling back in like a couple of dollars here, and it's so far away from the open that the notion of marrying myself to, okay, well, I want the turn at 160 or I want the turn at 164 when there's still about 45 minutes before even thinking about executing the trade, it can be a little bit early for that, but my eyes are on either one of those levels, and there's some clear support at 150, which I think could be a nice little place if it drops down. That's where you'd be looking for a target.
Yeah, I mean, Moderna, good look on Moderna there. I just want to let people know I just got more Rocket shares in the swing account, so there's that. Snow, S-N-O-W right now. I just wanted to get to it because we did touch it there. And if you're just joining us for the first time, you can see here the imbalance locator. That's what we just talked about right there. So I did want to touch it just a little bit. There's Rocket. That's not why we did it. I'm adding to the position that we already have on Rocket. So Snowflake's coming down to this 50-period moving average on the Q&A yesterday. Thank you for everybody who joined. We'll talk about that in a minute. A very successful Q&A yesterday where we had some great questions and some tweets at us afterwards, which means a lot to us that you guys are watching. This 320 level right here, we've already passed it today. It's down to 315. But there was some action. Sorry, 320, 330 was the level that we were looking at here on Snow. And now we're coming back down. Look, this is the highest priced stock right now on the S&P as far as I know, unless Airbnb or Dash took it over. But right now, that one of the highest priced stocks. It's a great one, but I'm looking at this level right here, 306. It stopped there, broke out up to 340, came down, closed that day, then opened lower, made a move down to 280. So I'm looking at 306 here as a possible stopping spot here for Snow. Let's see how that does open up. I just wanted to make sure that we covered that, Brendan, because, again, that's a huge imbalance, and we'll call it one more time up for you, guys, that today on lockup, 32 million shares, like Brendan said. It doesn't look like everybody's selling all of their shares, but this is a decent amount. And look, this is the thing that's scary right now. It's only 8:45, so it's not that scary. But when we see PV here, that stands for paired value. So right now, what's been paired off so far is only 20,000 shares. That doesn't bode well. Like if this was 5 million shares and 4 million paired off, something like that, or this number was on this side 2 million, then maybe that's already baked in. But right now, there's still a lot to come. So I'm excited for snow, but definitely not taking any opening prints.
Okay, guys, we'll continue along here. I wanted to jump over to the travel group. There was an offering I just saw here on Norwegian. So some of the cruise lines under pressure this morning. So Norwegian proposing to sell $500 million in aggregate principal amount of senior notes expiring in 2026. So here we go again. Some of these cruise lines raising debt with an offering on Norwegian today.
Hey, I just got to give a big shout out here.
Hey, there he is, making
yeah,
you
this is so Dima, what's up, my man? Yeah, Neil and I remember you. It was back in, if it's the same guy.
That is Dima. I mean, I was messaging him the other day,
Oh,
and
great.
that's yeah.
Well, a
that's
former trader of ours, a little Padawan there. When Neil and I had our office, we were hiring lots of traders, and Dima, super smart guy, came through, and I'm glad you're still in the game, man. Thank you so much for the 50. That is absolutely fantastic. Me and Neil will go have a couple beers on you there, and we'll invite Brent.
I'd love to have him on the show. I mean, I don't know if we can.
I'd love to have him on the show as well. And quickly before we go, I just want to say thank you as well to Tammy for becoming a recent member today. Thank you for joining. We will do another Q&A in a couple minutes. Well, not a couple minutes. Next Monday. Well, wait a minute. Next Monday is. Oh yeah, there's no Monday holidays. I was trying to think about that because we got confused yesterday in my family that Christmas was actually Friday. We thought it was Saturday, Christmas Day. But anyways, that's great. Thank you so much, Dima. Moderna calls. Look, I was so happy with seeing Dima there that we got thrown off. What was the stock, Neil, we're supposed to cover right now? Norwegian, all the cruise lines. Okay. Cruise space. Neil, do you want to have any ideas on some of these as I look?
No, I mean, obviously you're getting talks of lockdowns in Europe, and I think New York's at least discussing it as well, and you're getting positive vaccine news, and so it's an interesting environment for some of these names to be doing an offering, but they're all rounding into what I thought were going to be interesting breakouts, Norwegian as well, and it's basically trying to get through this 28 level, and it's just I like it up there for some trades. If we get back down to like 22, I think it gets a little more interesting. It's going to be a difficult trade in particular for this name. I think maybe a 25 break gives you a scalp. I feel like it's going to be the theme of the day today, but you're looking at probably just some scalp trading in Norwegian. I like a 25 break, maybe get you to that quarter, something along those lines. Even then, I'm probably going to gravitate usually to CCL for that style of trading if I thought there would be a deeper move, or we're closer to either that 22 level or maybe a chance at that 28 again. I'd be more interested in Norwegian in particular. Just one note here, that VERU, if you guys are watching it, it's starting to pull back in here. It's below yesterday's high I just saw. I'm starting to think about that short off of that consolidation 1150. And OCX, that has a bit of a strong feel to it today, so I'm staying away from that one till the open.
Yeah, moving to the upside. I was just having a look at Pfizer here, guys. There was a note I just saw on Pfizer as well. EU regulators to move up Pfizer vaccine assessment to December 21st. So if you remember, the EU ruling on this one has not come through yet. But we are negative still, 0.4% to the downside here, $40 once again. This is a big level, guys, for Pfizer. If you look at the daily chart, should be a little bit of support around here.
Yeah, there actually is a bid on 39 even right now. Now that I look at it, it's about 150,000 shares. So I didn't, maybe I missed it. I didn't see it on the locator there, but I would have to assume with that kind of an order sitting in the New York book, there's probably at least a little bit of interest in that opening print. And this 39, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb because you go back into the end of last month. This was a nice ramp up off of that 39 break, get you like a 10% move to the upside. It was a nice support. And we've double tested it. We tested in the afternoon, and we're testing again right now on Pfizer. So, I'll take a shot at the 39 break. It's not every day that you're trading Pfizer as a day trade, but certainly with a level like that, I got to look at the short.
I remember when I went long breaking through 42 on Pfizer, and I said, like, there's no way that Pfizer is going to be, a very good long-term hold unless you're looking for the dividend. I know I'm on CCL here, but I think it's the same thing. look, the vaccine is baked in right now. Like, sorry to say that, but I mean, if you're playing some of these names, I only think there's negative news to come. I mean, Pfizer's already released a vaccine. We already know about it. There's going to be a vaccine glut coming in the spring. There's going to be J&J. There's going to be Novavax. There's already is Pfizer. There's Moderna right now coming through. Not only that, but Pfizer has the problem of the sub-zero temperatures. They also have the problem of multiple shots have to be given. I don't like Pfizer here. I've said that for a while, and now it's at $39. I just wish I would have recommended puts or you guys going short. And honestly, I have the same feelings for CCL. I have the same feelings for a lot of these kind of YOLO recover plays. Not that Pfizer is one of those, but some of these, we already talked about Norwegian. And look, I mean, now I almost only think like bad things can sort of happen to some of these stocks because like if the rollout doesn't go great with the vaccine, they just reached, God forbid, it's unbelievable, but 300,000 deaths in the US, right? And ICUs, even here in Ontario, being overwhelmed right now. I saw some people on Instagram there out partying, like famous people showing their Instagram with tons of people. I just don't know if people are taking this seriously enough. And look, obviously that's a late statement because we're in the late stages here, but I'm super worried honestly about what's going to happen to the healthcare system right now, especially if we don't slow this thing down. I know the vaccines are here, but we always talk about it. And again, it's the most famous sentence that I always screw up. And it's, you buy the rumors and you sell the news. So the vaccine is here, guys. I'm not super optimistic that a lot of these stocks will recover to previous highs. I mean, Moderna may go because I think they have a unique product, but I'm definitely bearish on Pfizer and I'm bearish on CCL, some of these other plays. Like I'd include Disney there, but I just think, again, that Disney's too good of a longer term story. Some of these other recovery plays, I'm really bearish on them. And that's why I'm actually very bullish on Peloton and some of those calls like Zoom and Peloton and some of the stay at home names. I'm really starting to turn more bullish on those than some of these, what I'm going to call YOLO recovery plays.
All right, guys, we'll jump into the watch list here and get going on what is moving around in the pre-market. Before we do that, actually, I just want to show you this one, this Aimco, this AIV down significantly today, 86% if you're wondering, on huge volume down here as well. They had a merger agreement in place with this apartment income REIT. They have terminated that, so they're going their own direction. So down huge on that news, 86% for AIV. As I mentioned right off the start, guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you sign up for the watch list. It's absolutely free to you. We send it out every single morning before we come on at 8:30, talking about all the stocks moving around in the pre-market and why. And then you join us at 8:30, and we discuss why we should be looking at them at the open coming up at 9:30. Let's go to electric vehicle land first, both XPeng and NIO on the watch list this morning. We'll talk about XPEV first. We mentioned yesterday Deutsche Bank initiating coverage with a buy rating on XPeng. $58 price target was up for the third day in a row this morning. So XPEV to start here this morning, guys.
Yeah, good little base of operation for XPeng. The last couple of sessions, anyways, off that 43. You get what looks like a sort of a classical, shakeout break at 45, where multiple times, if you had it the first time through 45, certainly good, but there was no support at that price level either time it came down there, but you definitely got some acceleration through that price. I'm actually looking at 47 even now to be that type of a thing. So even if it dips back downside, I'm looking for even a 47 break, and then that's the area I'd want to be dip buying, and it's not like there would be a hard stop there. I think you could probably use this little jaunt if you want to look at it, 46.40. I think would be a better place for a stop. But thinking about a dip buy in and around the 47 range with that 46.40 as a bit of a stop is the first look for me. And the only reason why I'm hesitant about the breakout buy at 40 for the pre-market high is you then have that 50 mark sort of staring you in the face, and how quickly you've seen those snap back, whether it's NIO, and I think probably the same thing, and I like it better in NIO. I don't know if you feel the same way, Sean, where a lot of times it's like you just get into like a 10th or 20% of that initial breakout position just so that you know, okay, well, there's some buying off the open, but really the best trade is going to be when it dips and tests back towards previous support or towards the pre-market low. I feel like XPeng might be the same thing. It's just that the pre-market bottom is very, very close to where we are now.
Yeah, I look. I like the exactly. I like the electric vehicle space again, starting to heat up a little bit off of some of these moves down. We just did jump off that 50-period moving average on NEO right here. I told you about that last night or yesterday while we were trading it, that we got down 39 and change. We were going to try to look at this level, and I was talking about possibly putting some more in. If you were not long NEO, I thought this was a good spot yesterday to get some more long, and then welcome to a nice little return, especially if you got some 39 halves yesterday during some of that chaos there, up to 42 and change here today. I like it. I think it looks like it's making a base there. And for me, often we talk about, is there something that you're looking at that everybody else may be looking at, and therefore you have maybe a good spot to short off of? I think that would be 43. That's going to be a breakout spot there. And I mean, look how it's ramping up. I know this is just a 3-minute chart, but we're starting to go a little bit. These are some of those bottoms that we talked about early yesterday. We did hit some of that long on the show. You guys know that. But near's 43. So this is what we're going to look at here today. I think it's going to be a great long opportunity. I have it written down on the Post-it note to go long through 43. Last time it happened, though, we stopped at 43.60. So we got to watch out for that. It tried again, stopped at 43.30. So it's fun because today's video is on scalping and today on NEO. If we can break through 43, you're going to see scalping at its finest because I'm going to hit that hopefully pretty hard with more shares than you would normally, and that's what scalping is, and then take it out for a dime, 20 cents, and then we'll see what 43.50 brings. But I like the long. It's ramping up, 1.6 million shares. Where is the imbalance locator here? There it is. So NEO now right at the top, 600,000 shares. So watch out. I think this is ramping up. But again, as you remember yesterday, Neil, it didn't open for a while. Some of the stocks right now on the NYSE, I don't know if it's because it's like holidays now or what, but they're not opening up right on time. So watch out for NEO. But remember, there is quad witching and everything. It's going to be a crazy Friday.
Yeah, and no Pfizer on that imbalance locator. So at that 3, I was just like, unless I missed it there, I didn't see it. I mean, I didn't see it on mine either. So may not have the interest that I was expecting off of that open. That could temper things. Just to let you guys know, I mentioned that VRU. Looking a little bit weak. I did grab a short at 27, and then 11 broke, so I actually took some more shares there. The only thing I would add to NEO is I'm going to like the dip to 42 if we get down there for the dip buy. The breakout, like I said, to me, I like the long a lot better on the dip than I do on the break. The break is more in and out, like Sean said. But I love this because I didn't really realize one of these names on the downgrade list. Time to get some upgrades and downgrades. Let's go over to Brennan.
Hey guys, yeah, we'll get you a few more symbols to have a look at as we head towards the open here this morning. Upgrades on this side, downgrades on that side. There are more. These are just a few of the more interesting ones. Zynga down here up 3%. I'll talk about that in a second. Show you the chart. ExxonMobil, Bristol Myers, AGCO as well. Negative still. Energy a little bit stronger this morning, but Chevron on here on the downside. Same with this one down here, Suncor. Downgraded this morning as well. We'll shift over there to Bristol Myers first. 2% to the upside on an upgrade. And I wanted to show you this one as well, CVX. Yeah, still in positive territory, but look what happened yesterday to this thing. Huge move down with oil prices. We're still kind of hanging out here at $90 for Chevron. Guys.
Yeah, a little surprise.
I want to short everything oil, to be honest with you. I don't know. Chevron, we can have a look at that. Let's look at Exxon as well. No, we can look at Chevron.
Look at the shelf on Chevron at 89.
I don't know. I mean, we will have to, let's see, $89 there. What rate? On the daily chart, you mean?
I'm on a 15 here. Yeah, it's just looking at the last couple of weeks, it just feels like there's been some obvious support. But even if 89 breaks, you'd probably pick up some buying at 87. And Chevron's still, if you had to pick one of these, probably the one you'd want to be in. I would say. But if 89 goes, you're looking at like an 87 on Chevron. This is very similar to, oddly enough, it looks very similar to what I was just looking at in Pfizer, which I kind of prefer better right now, at least just simply because Pfizer's about to do $1 million in volume. Chevron, it's not even trading here.
No, I mean, Exxon's at 100,000. I mean, this is oil, guys, on a 20-minute chart. I mean, I just think that we're probably a little bit. I mean, this is the drop. We saw that in the chart. Well, we can look at Exxon and Chevron, and that's what Brendan was referring to yesterday. The drop early in the AM there, all the way down from 47.50 to 46. But then there's that kind of like Neil was talking about, some support there, not only on stocks, but also in the market themselves. it looks like we're trying to break out again, man. I mean, look, this is, like I said, this is a 20-minute chart on crude. So if we can break this 47.75, we'll mark that down, Brendan, and we'll watch crude today, because if it breaks that 47.75 level, then yeah, we're off a little bit on that. I mean, here's the daily chart. We can look at the same thing. We were ramping up. I mean, nice bottoms. Forget about what happened in March, whatever. We talked about that. Oil goes negative and things like that on some of the hells to the yeah. I see you got a little Egg McMuffin sandwich there too, Randy. Thank you so much for that. What's in that? Is that bacon? Bacon finally? Yeah. Oh, I didn't have anything on there before. That's our caterer coming through. Okay, 47.70. I just want to talk about oil here. We did break this bottom already. That's 42. I think as soon as that happened, it was off to the races. So 44 as a nice little bottom on oil. You can keep buying Chevron, Exxon, all these stocks, especially that we still have oil so super high here on the 20-minute. But guys, just watch out. If we break below 45 down here, then I think oil, I don't know. I think the space is uninvestable for many. I just think you can put your money in better spots, but for a trade, it should be fine.
All right, guys, let's bring in Arun here. We'll have a look at the overall market, see what levels we need to be aware of on the futures. This morning, positive right now for the overall market, but I think it's important, Arun, that people understand we're still kind of inside that huge range that we put in back at the end of last week. So what are we looking at here on the top end?
Yeah, it's interesting how we're bouncing around quite a bit here. It's a wide range, so bouncing around quite a bit is actually quite a bit. So the top end of the range, I've got marked off 37.15, and the bottom is 36.20. Now that 36.20 has been in play for at least a week now. So 36.20 on the bottom, 37.15 on the top. I do have 36.80 as a level that we were able to put in yesterday. It's not solid, but it is a level I can mark off if we can get below 36.60. So if we get below 36.60, I can use that 36.80 as a level to as a stop for that short below 36.60. But keep in mind, though, at least for me, when we get underneath 36.60, we have a limited downside before we run into some support. So as soon as we get into the 36.47, 46 area, into the 45s, there's action down there. So you're only going to get about 12, 13 points before you run into something. So the risk reward ratio, trying to take that short off of that 36.80, does have to be in play a little bit, or you have to be aware of what's going on there. But 36.80 is the level I would use if we get below 36.60, but I have to get the right prices to make it worthwhile for me. If we get into 36.45 and we start to show some bids, then I have a chance to take that long with 36.20 as a level. But keep in mind, yes, tomorrow I believe we you can correct me if I'm wrong there, Brendan. I believe tomorrow we've had the final Fed of the year, and then of course Friday is the big day. We have huge volatility on Friday. That's going to be insane. So there's a lot coming this week, especially in the next 3-4 days. So definitely something to keep an eye on. There's no way we're going to stay in this range going into Friday. At least by the end of Friday, we have to be out of this range. If we don't, it might be a long holiday session there.
You read my mind. I was just going to ask you about that Fed meeting starting today. We'll get the decision in the comments, obviously, tomorrow. Do we put any weight towards that? I guess we can talk about it tomorrow more, but I mean, the meeting starting today, obviously nothing to come of that.
Yeah, most of course, in any situation, any regular situation, of course, the Fed is the biggest event. Every number that we look at reads or is a leading indicator for the Fed, right? The jobless claims number, the unemployment report, all of that is for or is trying to predict what the Fed is going to do. But for this specific meeting, I mean, at the end of the year with the new president coming in, and given the kind of economic climate, everything's kind of already not priced in, but kind of telegraphed already in what will be done. Maybe in the new year when things start changing, I can expect some different things to, wording to change, but I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of changes. But again, it's one of those things where you kind of know, but at the same time, you're open to the possibility of being surprised. So that is the way I would approach it. I'm still going to take my normal trades. I'm not going to do a whole lot of adjusting towards the Fed release, but at the same time, I will be aware that there is that kind of a possibility of an outside chance of something coming in and kind of disrupting the market.
Going to be interesting. Thanks, Arun. Going to be interesting, especially with the imbalance and the change coming up. on Friday. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning, Arun, before we get going in the overall market. So the rebalance coming up on Friday at the close, but with this Fed decision, we'll get the announcement on Wednesday. Pay close attention to the language. Obviously, they're not expecting any change for years, is what they're saying. Let's go to Apple, guys. The next one on the watch list here this morning, they launched their new fitness product on Monday, competing directly with Peloton. They also came out this morning and said they're going to increase production of the iPhone by 30% in the first half of next year.
I mean, the first thing I was going to say is maybe it gives you a shot at Peloton 120 again, right, Sean? But look, Apple hasn't necessarily been the sexiest stock to day trade. This is news that we already knew was coming, and I think we already had an idea that this was going to be a big-time competitor within this space. I think Apple's product's probably going to be fantastic, and they have so many loyal followers that, realistically, they're probably going to capture a great deal of them. All that being said, it's just going to simply follow the market. When I looked at Apple this morning, there's a 124 a level that stood out to me, but Peloton is what I'm going to be a little bit more interested in and around this news. There was already that 120 break yesterday. A missed opportunity for me. Today my keyboard is not broken, but Sean had it, and it was a fantastic one. I just feel like we rejected that 125 level. If you go to the afternoon, it was like 124 in like 90 or so that it got to the top. Now we're looking at 124.50 as a pre-market high. So in the event that we do not test that high, I think there's a decent chance that it'll roll over in Peloton, and then maybe you get a shot at that 120 again. So I'd look to be dip buying at 120 Peloton. I'm probably going to take a breakout at 125 when it happens. But you know what I'm usually going to do? If we enter that 124.50 to 25 range and then test it, if I can get something real tight short, like 75 to 90s, and then try to scalp it that way on Peloton, in and out quickly the first time, I'll definitely take a shot at it, but it still would be that breakthrough at 125. So we either get that 25 break or the 120 dip buy.
Yeah, I just have on the sheet here, and they're both the same price. Apple 125, Peloton 125, but look at the big bad boy in the middle. AMD will take those breaks. Look, I mean, Apple up to 125. Let's just wait to see if that does anything. It's on a longer time frame. Well, I mean, the high is 124.20 now. I'd rather it break past 125. We can call it up on a daily chart. I don't know if that's really going to matter, but 125. I mean, maybe. Hold on a second. I'll pull this one over because ours are not split adjusted right here. This is 125, so we've bounced off of it a couple times here, 125.34 or so on the daily to be exact. I just think we could get up to 125. Let's just wait to see on Apple. So that would be my breakout there. But like Neil said, it's been kind of consolidating and not doing a whole hell of a lot. Like I said, own, don't trade right now with Apple. Because, I mean, even look at yesterday. This is like yesterday's open. A big move down. It followed the NASDAQ and then came roaring back. But after that, I mean, this is like a scalper's dream, but definitely pretty choppy in there and not really worth a breakout until we break the bottom, which doesn't happen until the afternoon. And then it gets super choppy again. And then we make a move down following the market. And then it gets super choppy. So I would wait on Apple. But Peloton, I'm going to go, I'm very bullish. I mean, I put this into the swing account at 117 the other day. I'm pretty bullish on Peloton. I think we take out this 125 today. Obviously, yesterday we had a beautiful long down at the bottom here, allowing it to run all the way up and then taking that 120 break, and it was absolutely fantastic. Today we get a little bit higher news with Apple, so we're only up 0.44. Remember, it's being added to the NASDAQ, so there is something there. This is a better level for now. I mean, we're at 122.75. 125 is just the breakout level, but I think that if we're going to try to scalp something, 123.50 looking good. We'll put that in our pipe here and take a whiff of that when it opens up, 123.50.
All right, guys, Baidu next here. Even Baidu getting into the EV market or considering getting into the EV market. The search engine announcing that they've considered and they've done a little bit of research. They've talked to different manufacturers about possibly making a Baidu EV car, guys. So Baidu up 4% this morning here on that.
Hey, man, all you got to do is say EV, and that's good for a nice little 3.5% bump. I don't know. Either way, I think Baidu was already sort of on a run, and this has been talked about at least a few times on the show with some of the bigger names out of China, which had gotten sold off recently. But I'm looking at this gap, and usually when you see a pattern like this, you get a break, 145, we head up, you get like a nice over 15% move to the upside, and it's been a consistent climb. But what it actually is lacking, if you sort of look at this, these charts here, is essentially I want to see some kind of a gap and a pullback, and you haven't really seen one of those. There was this little gap yesterday. It's hold support and then flush into the afternoon, but the morning was still a push to the upside. This time, it does feel a little bit weaker going into this pre-market bottom, and that could signal a bit of a pullback trade. And I don't know, it's just the market's up 0.7%, but there just feels like a few of these names are teetering on levels of pulling back, and whether it's something that you want to beat up on like a Pfizer or maybe that you don't on Baidu. I'm sort of seeing the same thing here, and it's hard to look at this. It's 168.80 and not 169. It's hard to look at that and not think there couldn't be a quick little gap retracement. The first things first, I actually need to get out of some VREU, headed down towards 1075. We talk about scalping 5, 10, 15 cents. Sometimes it's 25. In this case, I just saw a buyer at 1080, so I'm going to see if I can't get out of some of these in the low 80s on VERU.
I did want to talk a little bit about, so right now we're going over our watch list, guys. Make sure you sign up for that. I'll show it to you right here in a second. Let me just pop it out from my inbox here. Yeah, we get it. And look, today, 8:12, so not bad timing there. Make sure you sign up. Morning Movers, Trader TV watch list on tradertv.live. All the names here. We're just talking about Baidu. Up next, Eli Lilly. Not to spoil it for you, but we're going to get over all of these. Boeing, everything, the chip makers. We have AMD on watch as well. Make sure you sign up for that. But look at this, guys. Rocket right now. I like this move right here. If we could take this off, then we'll see what happens. But 22.65 right now looks like a spicy meatball right here, guys. 22.65 on Rocket companies. Just waiting for the market to open, see what happens. I think it was on the imbalance locator, so Snowflake's still big there. NEO, we already have that. We'll talk about Palantir in a minute. Oh, there's Rocket. So yeah, Rocket is back on here right now. So 200,000 shares to go. I like this Rocket level upside, Brendan.
We should look at that space too, but I want to show you this one first. We'll throw it up at the bottom there for you. Plug Power, guys, with a little note saying that they've expanded their hydrogen and fuel cell solutions into the Walmart e-commerce network. So Plug Power, we've looked at this one many times, 7% here. We're getting back to these recent highs. I mean, this high up here, 29.80, almost $30. But nice little pop here for Plug this morning.
Yeah, you see the magic words. I mean, Walmart, EV, hydrogen, whatnot. I just went over there. I had to get out of the VRU just so you guys can see that. And watch out for that. That one, if it holds the pre-market low, I think it could make a bit of a run at that 1150 level. So watch out for that at 930 or so. Plug Power, I see gaps like this, and I'm always thinking the same thing. What happens when we actually test? We test this level one more time. I mean, every single time, 28, and you just look at the last few sessions, you look at these wicks up through and actually breaking a couple of times that 28 level, but just essentially hard rejections. And those are like failed breakouts, if that's what you want to call them, where you're bouncing up to a resistance point. You're actually getting through, which might be a bit of a liquidity at stake there, but probably a lot of people betting on breaking some longs there or some short stops that cause it to wick up past that level and then fading back in. So that's 28 is the actual price that I'm really concerned with. You saw that happen again in the pre-market as well. But you see these lower highs. So I want to be working off a 28 level. I think that means if you're looking at a 28 break on Plug, I would probably give it to 10, maybe like go long 10 to 15 or something like that on the breakout trade instead of punching long on a 28 break, which I will not do on Plug Power. But definitely I would take a shot shorting in front of it, especially if we hold this off of the open. Positive news, certainly. But anytime I see multiple failed breaks at a level, it means usually it's going to be a good breakout. It's going to be tricky to get in without a stop out, so I would let it travel through that price, maybe even catch a bit of a bid before taking the long through 28.
I mean, being in the Walmart ecosystem obviously is going to help them and just increase their sales. Neil just went over all the levels. It'd be stupid for me to do it, but we like Plug. I don't think this is negative news, and I don't think really 7% is too much. I have DraftKings up right now, just watching as they're up 1.13%, and just looking at taking some out. I like this level of 50, hoping that we can get some longs down here in 50s, but it was just randomly that you caught me here looking at DraftKings. As I go over a whole bunch of stocks every day, I always look at DraftKings, Palantir, Fastly, NVIDIA, AMD, all these stocks. I just sort of run through some ideas, and DraftKings was on the board here, but not much happening. I do like the stock. I've been pairing some off, but we are making our run back to 65, I think.
All right, guys, there's a little, I put Eli Lilly in this Prevail Therapeutics on the watch list this morning. Really not a huge reaction. Prevail, obviously, a bigger one. Eli Lilly buying Prevail Therapeutics, $26.5 billion. $26 a share, I believe. I'll double check. Or $22.50, sorry. $22.50
Brandon,
per
just
share. Yeah, Neil, thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I just want to clarify something because it is $22.50 a share, but there is a contingent value right worth up to $4. So like the first drug in their pipeline that gets FDA approval, whatever it might be, that's next. Once that happens, there is a contingent value right. So it will trade above the price. Where is it? You know what? Actually, I'll throw it up for you guys. It is already trading above that $22.50. That is to be expected. These are things. It's really difficult to price these. The market's certainly giving it a little bit of a premium on top of that $22.50. The only trade I would make that might be interesting for you guys would be, if you think that right might be worth $4, call it like a time value of money and then some risk as well. I actually think there's a decent shot that you could find a $22.50 bottom and support at that level. So I'd be looking to go long in front of that, maybe like at 60s or 65s, and then using some of these consolidations below 24 for some scalp trading. You can maybe take 20, 30 pennies on trades like that, maybe a little bit more, but that $22.50 to me just becomes a bit of a floor because of that contingent value rate.
The next one here, Boeing, guys, making a big move to the downside even as we speak. Here, I was just double checking on any kind of headlines for this one. It doesn't really seem to. Boeing is next, obviously, but yeah, a little bit of a tumble here down to 229, basically where we ended yesterday. Put it on watch this morning. We were higher, obviously up to 231 here. Bloomberg reported late in the day yesterday that the company has implemented more extensive inspections for their 787 Dreamliner jets, which was causing a production delay because it was taking longer to get them off the line. So I'm going to keep looking here, but move down here for Boeing.
It's up, actually. So it's up 0.56% right now, but it is a nice little tick down here. Remember, I mean, I can just keep saying, I've already talked about my little rant there about the opening trade and the COVID, the opening trade for the economy. And yeah, Boeing, flying high. I just think it gets caught in some of the rhetoric there. Obviously, that news is not good about further inspections for the 787, but I mean, I think it's probably once they're done all of this, then is it not going to be like the safest plane ever to fly just because of all the restrictions and everything, the testing that's been going through? I don't know. And look, I am a shareholder here, so I have to tell you guys that at lower prices, I'm in at 217. We could retest there. Here's a daily chart. We're still up high here. If we break below this level 225, then I'm going to be a little bit concerned, and we can draw a line here. Someone said more horizontal lines. So here we go. That's 225 right there. We did top upside there, 233. We had some breaks earlier when we noticed that was the high, but now we're upside 243. I'm not worried about Boeing at all until we get into this area, and if we can break another horizontal line here at 200. Once we get into here, then I think we pick up more. I'm going to be a buyer of Boeing down at 200 for the long-term account or the swing account and long-term. I'm long in both of them. But I do like Boeing holding this 225. And if we're lucky enough to get that, then I think that's great. This is still a 3-minute chart. So, we're still downside. I don't have a problem even picking some up at 22. What is that? 228.50. But watch out, that's a good bottom. I'm actually going to probably go short through this because remember, I am negative on some of these reopen plays. So 228.50 short for Boeing fits the bill for me, Neil. I didn't know.
That's another chart that looks like that, right? Where you have a name that you maybe don't even dislike. Baidu looked very similar. You have multi-days bottoms there that could get broken. I feel like taking one or two of them just makes sense for the short trade, which I like 210 as well on Boeing. I want to quickly, if I can, someone asked about DoorDash and Airbnb, but both of these names making a bit of a bounce here in the pre-market. Double bottom specifically on Airbnb at this 125. It's now testing back up to 130. I just saw Dash had moved $4 or $5. Look, I don't even want to say the bid is in on this stock because I was going to look to short to 125 even. But I'm going to watch out for this 130. I'd love to see a fail. I'd like to see a fail breakout opportunity where it breaks 130, fails at the yesterday's, and I can't call it the high, but the afternoon top here at 130, 125. It doesn't get through that level and then comes right back down, and then you can take 130 to the south side. Today, actually, Sean, I believe we have to pay for shorts in Airbnb. They were free yesterday, but got to make sure you lock those in.
Not very active in the pre-market, guys. We're going to talk about the chip makers here coming up next, but Chewy on the list as well. The CEO aftermarket yesterday talking about implementing new products, more products into their line that will be available on their website. And they also said that they're going to try and monetize that telehealth service that they started last year. Still a free service to date, but they're going to look at ways to monetize telehealth for your pet. For Chewy. So not really doing much in the pre-market. Let's go to chip makers. There was Goldman Sachs, there was Morgan Stanley, Evercore, whole bunch of ratings changes this morning in this group, mostly to the upside. Goldman did, however, guys, downgrade NXPI. Everything else, though, higher this morning.
Yeah, and I'm going to say just trade the best name for day trading for right now. Anyways, AMD is at its all-time highs right here on the daily chart. This is why it's gotten a big boost for me today as AMD. I hear you in the background there, Rob. We talked about this at 100. 96.75 right now, AMD. So this is at all-time highs. I think it's the best of the bunch. They're the ones making the moves right now, as opposed to NVIDIA. Just check out the NVIDIA chart. Like I said, I'm long both of them. I have love for this space and continued love for it if my chart ever loads. But here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Look at NVIDIA. Stuck. We could break out, obviously, through 550. That could happen, but we're still stuck. We're just crossing the 50 period right now for NVIDIA. But look at AMD. I'll just keep going back and forth with these two. This is not stuck at all. We continue to go upside. This is where we put on the buy recommendation. Congratulations to Robbie back there joining me on that party, going long 75. And now I'm not going to be getting out of this one ever. So 96.75 here as a high. I like this break of 96.50. We're coming really close to it. I just hope it doesn't happen in the next 10 minutes. I like AMD long, but there's always a but. You do have some pullback opportunities. AMD doesn't just go up in a straight line like it did right here. You do have some pullbacks that can happen on AMD, especially if we look at a 1 minute chart. It can get pretty violent. I do like picking up bottoms here. This is AMD yesterday, shoots right up, but then comes back, builds a bottom, and then goes. So if we miss AMD off the top, or this doesn't go, let's look to get longer, 96 flat or so, if we have that opportunity, if it doesn't break 96.50.
Yeah, definitely a good look there. I want to, before we get into the next level, symbol here, I want to talk about MindMed. They do have that $50 million offering, and of course, it's a heavy traded name. We had them on the show, fantastic guests. But there was an interesting afternoon pullback here that held almost to a dime previous close at 460, 457. Check that. So I'm looking for that as an interesting level of support. If it opens up, around yesterday's close, below this 6 even. Failing to make a run at that yesterday's 650 high, it just feels like it's an opportunity to scalp some short trades. It does so much in terms of volume that being in and out of it's going to make sense. I am looking at it over here, of course, on the NEO exchange in Canada. So I'm going to be watching and trading a little bit of MindMed today off of those two levels, guys. But you'll see that pop in and out if all goes to plan at least.
Yeah, it was very active on the OTC markets down in the U.S. as well. So if you don't have access to Canadian markets, OTC markets available there as well. We mentioned Moderna, guys, right at the start of the show, but we might as well have a look at it here. Trying to hold higher for the second day in a row. We did have a bit of a sell-off yesterday, but emergency use coming through from the FDA for Moderna's vaccine. So number 2, ready to go.
Yeah, and it is looking like it's basically going sideways since I mentioned it the first time, which means I am going to be looking at that 160 and change. 160.35 is the current pre-market high. If it breaks through this level, certainly it would be any kind of a tight stop off the open. Don't let it break out too far against you. Got to have a hard stop. And then I'm looking at 164.50 for the next ramp up. So call it like a 165 area. I just feel like so much of this is baked in. You already had a bit of a run. We're consolidating lower off of this name. So if it's going to break out again, there's some limited upside. But for the next few days, if it does a significant pullback, I think we could have a shot at this one. And I like it the day of positive news that was expected and isn't really going to surprise too many people. I usually like the fade trade almost every single time. Here comes VERU. Bouncing back to 11. I forgot to mention, I'm going to stop this one out at 11.25 up until 9:30. Once the market is open, liquidity comes in, I can make a judgment call and have it up without a hard stop.
I mean, you heard me say I'd be short all the vaccine plays no matter what going through. Unless some sort of crazy news happens, I don't like the vaccine plays here. I think it's already built into these prices. We talked about that with Pfizer. And congratulations to anybody short Pfizer.
So let's go to a SPAC because we need more SPACs in our life. Thunderbridge Acquisition 2 announcing plans to merge with privately held semiconductor maker Indie Semiconductors, about a $1.5 billion deal here. This one actually doing decent volume, $3.5 million already in the pre-market. It's THBR up 10% here. We are pulling back into around this 1150 area, but THBR active this morning.
It's just interesting to have a SPAC that isn't EV or something in the biopharma space. I mean, I don't know. Feels like every single one of these is one of those two things. And of course, they're going to be hot. So that's going to be interesting. You know what? To say that I know a great deal about this one is sort of a misnomer, but we've certainly seen these find support at previous breakout levels when you have these announcements come through. So outside of watching the 11 even area or potentially, if you want to call it like a 1250 push that it had to the upside, and then it's like a $2 gap, and then you look at a midway retracement, you call like 11 quarter. You're looking at that range probably is going to be an interesting support level if it comes down there. That's the only thing I'll be watching on THBR. I do have to watch that VERU. It is finding a bit of a bounce, and OCX broke 350. I don't think it's a sell just yet because 40 and 20 still have to break down as well. Speaking of which, I think Brendan wants to talk about OCX.
I guess I'll contradict you, Neil, but I apologize. OCX, I had 380 up here, just using the top end of the range from the pre-market. Above that, I have offers up in the high fours, so 450 up to 5. So needs to hold 380. We did break down here, as Neil was saying, through 350. Yeah, big line in the sand, support down here around 330, 325. Below that, this thing was $2 yesterday, so long way to go. If we can get below that 320, any kind of move into 380, I'll look to add more. And then, as I said, 450, which is way up here, up to about 5 for OCX. But big mover, 61%, guys, for this one.
Yeah, exactly. I actually think I thought it was going to have a shot to test those levels in the pre-market, so I'm not going to be in it until if it does a 930 pop into that 380, I'm definitely going to like it, Brendan. I want to circle, if I can, quickly back to Genius Brands. We have like 4 minutes left here. We talked about $2 on GNUS, and it looks like I might have missed an opportunity to short this one. It did make a move off of 195 here, and then as it came down, I was trying to see if we would give a pullback, but it's consolidating right around the lows. Yesterday's close was at 183, so I might have to back off this one until the open. Might have been a missed opportunity. Should have maybe got into this while it was giving you that consolidation. I really thought that there would be a bit of a bounce into 930. That has come and gone, at least for now, when it comes to Genius Brands.
Okay, yeah, we're still waiting for AMD. We're waiting for a bunch of different things here, guys. Okay, NIO here. We'll take a quick look at that. I like the 43 break. Let's just see what happens here on a 43 break. We still have 42.60 upside. Let's check in quickly on the imbalance locator as we have 3 minutes to go. So there it is. The snowflake is starting to get paired off. So as you see, making moves down. We are watching that 305 level on snowflake. I'd rather watch it right now than even sit there and bid. So let's just wait. We do have this on our watch, snowflake. Watch out for 305. I feel like I'm going to hit the rewind button on that one. So we'll wait on that. And then there's Neil with the imbalance. And give this one some time because it doesn't open up right away. So we're going to wait to see. But I like a 43 break on Neo. But I also do like this bottom. If we can pick some up here, 42.20s or so. Watch out to protect yesterday's gap fill there. So we could fill back down to 41. It's just, this is the EV space, man. If they get going, they get going, and there's nothing you can do about it. AMD looking to break out the top as well at 96.50. Hopefully that doesn't happen before the market opens, but if it does, just stay patient with it. It could give you some pullbacks as well. And then I actually do like the Apple break of 125. I already have the order in there. No, I don't actually, because it's getting close. I should put it in. I like an Apple break of 125. I like a rocket break. And then, yeah, GNUS, Neil, I know it's faded back down there, but I like a $2 break like a lot. So we'll wait to see if that hits as well. And then use this 180 like we always talk about there as our bottom. Well worth it for risk and reward here. Disney 170. And it's going to be an exciting day. We have Peloton, Rocket, AMD, Apple, and Neo are all right now on my board.
Yeah, and the fives are about to get to that 39. I like that for the break. My order is still in there. VERU, remember I told you guys 11.25 I'd have my stop. We took some profit when it consolidated to 80, but had to get out right around where we got back in. Now, I like this. If it gets back to 11.70, I would have preferred that it actually tested this level or tested the 12 high. So This is what I talked about, not wanting to average into trades going into 9:30. Certainly could have tried it here on a rollover, but that's what happens almost every single time. You end up getting stopped out. So here, you manage to save yourself some coin and then look for the opportunity at 9:30, which anything failing around that 1170 would be a trade that I would jump back into. OCX still holding that 350 mark. I thought maybe we get a little bit of a push into that one. Snowflake as well. Sean, I was looking at that 300 even level, but I'm also watching 315. Any kind of a pop, 313 to 315, check that, where the first consolidation was on the breakdown of that 315 consolidation. So if it gets any kind of a bounce, which I'm not even thinking is going to be too likely, I want to be shorting any strength into Snowflake. That's the plan, of course. The lockup, end of the lockup period is the story there with Snow.
And then here we go. We're already into AMD here. It just drops down to 96. So we pick up a very, very small piece there of AMD. We're also going to get ready to go long on Apple in case that breaks 125. But right now, long AMD 96 evens right here as we get ready. 10 seconds to go. Let's go. Let's get this party started, guys.
Yes, sir. This V on the bell. 3, 2, and 1. Looking rather sharp. And nobody ringing the bell with their head today.
Thank God for that. Okay, we're watching NEO right now. We're still going to wait for that to open up as AMD popping around. I have some bids downside, so if we do tank down, we will get longer AMD in the 95 area. But right now, a nice little 10-cent winner and going higher right now. We're long. Nice little win for AMD. Nice little 20-cent win, 30-cent win. Did I say 30? Maybe 40-cent win. Did I say 40-cent win? 50-cent win on AMD. Bang! There it is. Boom! AMD to the upside. Nice little 80-cent win here as AMD flying right now, guys. Big trade for AMD. Not sure why my script didn't go through there, but a nice little run for AMD. Good win there, guys.
And there's a pop to the downside on VRU and an upside one on GNUS. I am working into the short off of that $2 level on GNUS, and I'm going to try to get back into VRU. If I can get the same prices as before with an 1125 area stop, I'll try to do the same thing, but working into that Genius brands. The $2 long, I think I want to hold off on that one. Of course, I know, Sean, you're going to be looking at it, but I'm shorting off of that level first. Not too much size on the level 2, so I wouldn't jump in too heavily. I would have gone much bigger if I actually saw a level at 2 even, and all I'm seeing here, like 250,000 shares, I think that's basically the minimum end of what I was hoping to see at $2 on Genius brands.
Okay, yeah, and I don't know what happened there because I should have been hella long there at 96.50. I don't even know where that order went. We should have been hella long, but a good trade here on AMD. So we're still running that to the high side. We're now long 91s, but we should have been long 96.50. Hopefully you guys have that with us right now. We're watching Rocket. This is going to fall back down. That's okay. Our AMD's position is not huge. We do want to get longer if we can right here at the 96.50, the 96.30 level or so on that name. Rocket not rocketing right now as we're waiting for that to take out the high. 2240, 2260 is that high. And then NIO right now back down. This is the move that we talked about where we could get a retracement back to the downside, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It hasn't really bounced yet, but it did have a one shot at 42. Pfizer breaks 39, so I just got into that one. I will scalp some off, like take 10, 15 cents and then work the rest of the trade to the downside. I can tell you that OCX trying to break 320 as well, so I might get involved in that. But my look right now is at 4180 to 42 area on NEO to see if I can't pick up a dip buy. It's got to hold some kind of a level first. I look at this level 2 here, and then just chewed through a size bid at 42 even. If that doesn't cause a move down and we can hold this 80 mark, I'm going to try to jump back into this on the way up. Pfizer now 25 pennies in the money, so while this is all happening, and I'm watching NEO, we can go Superman action for the Pfizer break to the downside. That was a nice short.
Yeah, Pfizer, like I said, man, congratulations to anybody short Pfizer for the last little while. I have not been a big fan of going long on that one, but we are a big fan of going long on AMD. This is already $1, guys, so congratulations to anybody right there. We picked up a $1 win as we hit the sirens right now on AMD, guys. What's up, B?
All right, guys, another SPAC moving here early on. Bridgetown Holdings Limited just popping up here, 27%. BTWN, they're going to merge with a company from Indonesia. Just going to read more on that, but just broke 14 there on a massive volume spike for that one, guys.
All right, we're going long Apple as well, guys, through 125. Bang! Right there again, man. We are doing it again. More cowbells, more chicken dinner winners for everyone. Long through that one. Big win. Oh, yeah, by the way, look at AMD now. Kaboom! You want to bring it, we bring it for you. Rain down the cash right now. Yeah, those of us that are actually traders, you can see that we're making some plays here, Neil. And it's a great morning. Good move on Pfizer. Great move on AMD. Great move on both stocks, AMD and Pfizer. And now we'll take a little bit out on Apple here, 125.
Yeah, great look on Apple for sure as well. You never want to, don't sleep on days that's actually a day tradable stock. I want to quickly, if I can, go to Airbnb. I'll cover Pfizer in a second here and VRU, which is going well. But Airbnb, I wanted 130, and this thing turned on a dime at 129, headed back towards this 125 low, and I feel like if that breaks, it's going to be trouble. It's hard not to look at that and think about the double bounce. So I will take a quick little long in front of it, just in case there is some support at those even dollars. But it's really the 125 short that I like. We gave you that look on the higher time frame. I'll get to Genius Brands, which is bouncing off $2. I got 197, which I should have 198 half. There's no reason not to have a better price when it's like a $2 stock. And we'll cover that on our scalping video. Definitely a bit of a mistake there. I should have been just had more patient.
Okay, yeah, we're definitely running this Apple trade. We just got out twice there ahead of 25. Don't know why it resisted that 125.25 there, but it did. So Apple right now turning around a little bit. Watch the ES here. I got to switch this over to the NASDAQ because I'm long both of these NASDAQ names. We're not heavy in them right now, but a big win here for Apple. Not big, that's 20 cents, but AMD, man, off this 96 bottom and then the 96.50 break, man, all the way up. Like, what a great trade. That was $1.20 there for a lot of you guys on that win. And then even if you have the 96.50 break, which I have no idea why my order didn't fill, that's a big win. We'd be a hell of a lot more excited if that had filled. But Genius
should be excited anyways, my friend.
Yeah, we crushed it anyways. Here goes 97.30. Nice little win here. See if we can't get going on this one. There was another name, Neil, we're still looking at, and I'll find out what it was. I can't remember.
Peloton.
What's up, Brendan? Oh, Peloton.
This PaySafe, guys, BFT, big sell volume came in there at the open, 14.50 all the way through $14. It's already bouncing, but big volume spike to the downside here for BFT, guys.
Oops. Yeah, so Peloton, what was the look? Bounce off 120. Well, that happened already. So if you were sitting around waiting for it, yeah, too busy celebrating some Pfizer, trading VERU, and trying to get into OCX, when Peloton bounces right off that 120 level, maybe we'll get that 125 break after all, given how much strength that Peloton just showed. But you cannot chase a missed opportunity. I just got some shares out on the turn here in Pfizer at the bottom. So let's do backflip. Why not? The short at 39. We took some out, like I said, in the high 80s there. Then we took some out in front of 75. And then when it consolidated off of 60, bouncing off of 55 bottom, I'm definitely going to get some more out. I'm still short this, and I'm likely going to try to add to my position around that 39 even. If I can get, sorry, not add to it, like jump back into it. Reload is the word in front of 39 if I get that chance. GNUS testing back to $2 even. Same size as on the offer, so nothing really changed there with that name.
Man, we are just loving life right now as it continues. I actually looked. We do have one negative day in December so far this month. And right now, it doesn't look like this is going to be another one. Apple right now going to the high side right here. So let's watch out. 125.40. We'll see if we get some out. We're long at 125. We talked about that one. 65 cents in the money right now for AMD. Bang! Going to the high side right now is AMD. And guys, thank you so much for watching us. It's hot dogs for everybody today. Let's just keep this party going as AMD continues to make moves to the high side. All-time highs for AMD. We did take a 123.50 break on Peloton. I still had that order in. I should have canceled it when I realized we went all the way down to 120, but we still have that in. I still believe in Peloton. We took a $2 winner yesterday on this holding all day as it goes all the way back to the upside. So let's have a little bit of faith here in Peloton. The high is 124.20. I want to take some out if we can get a 70-cent win, but watch out for Peloton right here. See if we can't get some out at the high of the day. We do like that one, but AMD and Apple, man, cruising for bruisings right now. Good trades. What's up, B?
This one pretty thin so far, guys. Just had an alert go off on Baidu here through the pre-market high. We did get a 52-week highs there above 170.30, but right back down. So thinly traded, but Baidu heading higher.
And heading back to the downside, going to start to take out some of that Genius Brands when it gets to when it got to that like 190 to 192 area. It has this little bottom here in the pre-market 189. So as it approaches, definitely want to start taking some profit so that we can reload if it does test to even again. I did slide into that Airbnb. off of 125. Yes, I do like the short through 125, but still going to look for that as a bit of a support level after that double bottom from yesterday as well. So if I can scalp some out here for about $1, I'll go ahead and do that. I don't think it gets necessarily back to that 129, 130 where I wanted it short in the first place. But if it happens, fantastic. That means the long is one, and I'm looking for a reversal.
41.70 here. Yeah, look at NEO, man. I told you guys that NEO could eventually take that back gap fill there, so it just does that. So I think we can probably go long here on NEO. We'll just test it just a little bit. We want to make sure that we do cancel our other orders here because we were waiting to go long through 43. But right now we have the long on NEO, 41.50. We talked about it coming back down and filling this gap, so it does do that, but I'm not going to let it go through the day's low, 41.26. But a nice little long right now for NEO. Let's see if it takes out the next level, 41.70. We'll go longer on this one, but a nice little runner here as Apple, AMD, both in the money right now. Peloton cruising as well. What's up, B?
Yeah, just having a look at Lee Auto, guys. Another one, kind of giving you that same look. We came down here to these levels from yesterday, around this 31.5, 31.30, and we're trying to bounce for Lee Auto in the same way, guys.
Okay,
the stocks are hot, but that coffee of mine is absolutely even more hot. That Airbnb trying to bounce off of that 126. But I want to quickly, if I can, come back to Chewy here. It's making a bit of a run to that 85. It hadn't done much pre-market volume, but it's making a push to this level. And yesterday's action, there was sort of some resistance to the 85 level. Let's see what happens when it gets there. Certainly going to be on my radar through 85. Pfizer reload back at 39, guys.
Okay, so basically we just shorted CCL, a pretty big spot here for me. So we're shorting CCL right now. So let's go. Hopefully that one will come through. We like that trade. We're short CCL. We just took some off there. We got short. What's our price? 77. We just got some off 73 there on that bottom right now. NEO, a good trade. Long again. We did average up. We got a question on that yesterday on our Q&A. So there's an average up on NEO. We're not going to let it drop below 41.25. That's the day low. This could be a disaster. Who knows? But watch Apple right now, guys. Boom, a $1 winner right now for Apple. So you want to take some backflips. Here we go with Apple backflips right now. And then AMD is $1.50 from these bottoms. So we're still running these stocks, Apple and AMD. But right now, NEO and CCL, big positions for me. Peloton, we're giving it back to 120, 150. So if it breaks that back downside here, we're going to get out. But I still like this one for a hold throughout the day. Let's just see what happens here. But right now, CCL working against us, giving it back to 2093-ish. VWAP upside 97, actually.
Oh my goodness! Sometimes it's like do as we say, not as we do. Of course, with the exception of trying to dip by NEO, every single trade has worked out nicely for me. Shooting like 80% if you're a foul shooter. But the previous close on MindMed, you did get open lower at 518 or so, and then a test to the bottom, runs upside, and then makes a turn. So you could have used that 560 as your stop, which I intended on doing, did not. And then if it gets back to that level, I'll try it one more time, but it's a 550 area instead of 560 that I'll play off of. I talked about reloading on Pfizer. That's what I've done. Last time we were taking some out in the high 80s, low 90s for that 10-cent scalp. I will go ahead and do the exact same thing. The second time you test this level, I don't anticipate the move to be as deep, so I'll probably get most of this out in front of 75 if I can. Pfizer may be catching a bit of a bid, and you don't want to turn what was obviously a good opening trade and then throw everything away on the secondary push at the same price level that we can all see, Brendan.
So 305 ended up being, looks like the level down here for Snowflake, guys. 305 held as support. You can see the big imbalance we were showing gone now, obviously, and we're headed back upside. 310 just broke for Snowflake, guys.
Guys, there you go, guys. I mean, I gave you that 305. Congratulations. Anybody has it, but you're going to get some hot dogs right now, so get ready, guys. So here we go. Apple, $1.25 in the money. AMD, guys, so there's a one winner, $1.25. AMD, $1 in the money from my late entry. Don't know what happened at 96.50. Could be even more monsters. CCL, held to the still trying to make some moves down. We're still profitable on that one. NEO, 40 cents right now in the money and more. Backflip on NEO right now. Peloton down 63 cents, spread 30 cents. Ho-hum on that one. And then the only other position we have is the Rolls Royce, not doing anything right now. But hey, guys, 6 for 6 to start the day here. Just Piton pending right now. Let's see if this one go to the high side. We could have taken winners off on this one for sure, but we're going to try to make a little bit more on this one. So right now, it's a banger of a show once again, guys. Congratulations. Watch the NASDAQ coming down now, though. We are light on all these big winners right here. Brendan, what up?
A little Chinese renewable energy maker just popping up here. DEQ, not Dairy Queen. This is DACO, renewable energy, just popping through day highs there. Also $50, so a big level for this thing. Big volume alert here for DEQ, guys.
So if you miss it the first time on the way down, take it on the way back up. Airbnb, I did miss the 125. I got out of the trade, but did miss the 125 short. I am jumping into it on the way back up, and I'm going to be shorting this one all the way through. We did scalp the long for $1, just over $1 win, and then took a hit, as this was a nasty gap through on 125, showing you all kinds of weakness in that name. Pfizer, it actually does retest the bottom, guys. So I just finished telling you the second time on a move, you shouldn't like it necessarily as much, and then somehow it's basically just as good. So it is what it is. Literally, I don't know how many times you get a chance to rinse and repeat exactly the same price at 39, and it gives you the same move. My exits are almost exactly the same, except for the bottom here, which is a little bit higher than the actual low. I'll probably do that just about every single time I take a trade like this. But I'm going to hold through at least some of this Pfizer position, the last 20% here. If it breaks 38.50, certainly there's some more room to run to the downside. I think it's going to be a solid hold on Pfizer short, which sometimes you get it twice, guys, and you just got to take advantage of it. Going back to Genius Brands as well, this has so far been the line it up and knock it down for me. So long as we can hold 195, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting close to the point where I would want to roll into some more shares. Instead of in front of 2 even, if it rolls and cannot break through VWAP here, yeah, I would take some shares at 195 or so. Not as good a price as I had, obviously, right at 930 or just after 930, but certainly looking at that opportunity now that it looks weak.
And guys, daily goal met right there. So there it is, man. Spin it. We're done. We'll still trade for you, but what a big day this has been, guys. Look at NEO, exactly as told you. 41.50. We told you that there could be a bounce back. We take that long. We take that long again. Bang that one, 50-cent win for that right now. CCL, man, hells to the yeah. Big trade alert on CCL. This was my largest position today, taking out that bottom. And again, like, I can't just spit the rhetoric and not trade it, right? I told you guys my opinion on the reopen trade and my opinion on CCL, and it's a negative one, and it was like that all morning. So there it is, nice little breakout to the bottom side on CCL. We got to take some of this out, but this is a monster win for me right now on CCL. Really super happy with the way that one faded out. And then obviously NEO making it all the way back upside. Man, big win here. Big win on CCL. AMD's been a monster today. Oh yeah, and how about $2 right now on Apple, guys? Big trade. Let's just keep this going. I'm at the highest spot I've been at all day here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6 today. It's a hot dog kind of day.
Baidu just broke 52-week highs. They're also 172 even to the upside. Now, the pre-market break was 171.50. I might have missed that one, but certainly taking a shot at this break-up trade. Airbnb still holding 125. I got 74, so I'm going to give this one some room to the south side. It's been so weak. I am going to scalp off some of this Baidu if I can get some to that 50 level, just because there was that pre-market break point at 171.50 that I think some people will be taking profit at that buck if they're day trading. Pfizer still remains in the money. But I have been, it's not that I'm neglecting OCX. I've been watching it the whole time. I just haven't been able to make a trade in it. It is giving a nice little consolidation off that 320 level, which was holding as support in the pre-market. So no definitive break there. If it bounces up and holds 350, I would short it. But again, it's found some legs beneath that VWAP on OCX, and it's still not definitively going lower than that 320 level. So I'm not jumping in the short till we test 350. There goes Airbnb. Trying to get back down through 124. If it breaks it, I'll take some off for a buck.
Man, this is just such a great feeling, man. This CCL trade is just giving me ways right now. Like, we love this trade. It was my biggest position here in a long time on CCL. And look at it, just tank city right now. We did take a little bit off here on Peloton for a 20-cent loser, but I don't know. I don't know what this is going to do. I just don't want this day to turn around on one bad trade. What's up, B?
One we were talking about in the pre-market, guys, AIV, still down 85% here. It's been halted a couple of times already, just halted again for additional information. So big move down here as we were discussing. Merger agreement fell apart, so AIV halted for news pending, guys.
And I'm going to go with this one because I like it when it's on my board. Shout out to Arun. We'll go pew-pew action. Sniper, a bit in and out here on Baidu. I still, of course, am holding the breakout, but I said I would definitely take some in front of 172.50, anticipating a possible pullback that I might be able to dip buy into. That never really came to fruition at 171.50. But either way, if we get to 175, certainly I will take it off there. But I'm going to continue to slay the dragon that is Genius Brands. well, I guess you can't call Genius Brands a dragon, but you can call it breaking down through 180. So there was a short rounding into 2 even. I just said I would think about taking some at 195 if it rolled over there. It never even gave me a solid shot at it. It just kind of ticked up and then ran away from that price. But Genius Brands I shouldn't say this. Likely to be my best stock of the day unless Airbnb continues to go absolute. I don't know. His stock is so weak, both these two. So I just got out some shares Airbnb at 122 for a $2.50 winner. Obviously, we've talked about how weak these names have been in Airbnb. I don't know what to say about it, but I don't know where the bottom support's going to be. 125 was it. It is gone. I'm short here 124.74. I guess 120. Brennan?
Just having a look at First Solar, there's nothing significant. Looks like Morgan Stanley with a block trade on this one, but just popping up on a volume scanner through 86 here. For FSLR, did have a move down in the aftermarket, but held 85. Some of the solar is a little bit strong so far.
Look at Apple. Yeah, solar name. We maybe start getting out of Apple right now, guys. This has just been, again, thank you for the love. Thank you for the love on the show and on the chat there, Sean Owen. Family, I know you love the high energy. We're going to keep it. Like, when you're making these kind of calls and this kind of money, it's easy for me to throw down some energy. So, but I do it regardless, so that's fine. 126.80. Let's get out of Apple if it does break back down below. I mean, we're just riding this so high and so great right now. 126.50 out on Apple if that does happen. Oh, yeah, by the way, NEO all the way back upside there. We're almost out of that one. 10% left on NEO. Peloton as well. Manny D, what up? Thank you so much, man. We love you as well, and we will use that for our next monster bottle. But I'm going to make the producers pay for this one as they did this time around. So thank you so much, Manny D, for that one. And look, man, CCL, boom, we just tweeted that out. Like, this one, really an amazing trade for me, and I'm super happy to have that one on board. But I don't know if it's any better than the NEO trade or the AMD trade that we had. But Apple right now, we got to put this stop order in. What a monster for Apple here, up to 127. We could get this one out if we wanted to, guys.
Yeah, and Airbnb just tried to consolidate off. Well, it's still trying to consolidate. That's cute. Off 122. It looks like maybe we'll test that 120. When I said there was no bottoms on this is what I mean. Like, it's every time it tries to find a shelf. You saw what happened at 134.50 yesterday. I embarrassingly missed this trade because my keyboard exploded on me. But either way, we got a 130, and now to come in here and be staring 120 in the face is kind of crazy. Like I said, I don't know where the bottom is, so I'm going to let this one ride just a little bit here. I'm going to get to that AIV in just a quick second, but there is a bit of a bid forming on Genius Brands off this 180. Now, it's not necessarily something I'm seeing on the level 2. It's just that every time it's broken through or tested 180, you are seeing a lot of dark pool prints go off and then a bit of a buy action back through. So I have taken off some on the way up. You'll note these executions. I got some out at 178. Then I took some off at 180 and 181 simply because it looked like it was bouncing on me, and I wanted to get a bunch out in front of it. Take the profit while you can. 10% is a good return on some of these small caps, guys. Brennan?
There was a positive note on this one the end of last week, Microvision, if you remember, we were talking about it, but this is one of those ones that can give you big moves if it gets going. MVIS, 14%, not seeing anything significant on this, but definitely some volume here through 350, guys. We're up 15% for MVIS.
Okay, I'm just starting to get some out here on CCL. I mean, starting to. I mean, I've been getting some out here at the bottoms. We just continue to run. What's up, Latino de Carvalho? Thank you so much for joining up as well. New member alert. Yeah, everything is just kosher. Look at Peloton. Now we go, guys. What a monster day here. Now we added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6. Peloton blowing up now. It's already positive. It's in the money huge now. Not huge, but our position is now in the money. We are positive on the stock. After taking some out for 20-cent hits, we just take a 40-cent win. Now we're still long Peloton in our swing account as well. Now we're going to go high side here. Let's see if we can take this out. We already talked about this 124.20 level. That already got taken out. So Peloton right now giving us ways as well. 40-cent win for CCL. $1.80 for Apple. AMD was a monster trade. Could have been like, this day would have been bonkers, guys. I just don't know what happened. We'll find out about our order. Maybe I'll refresh. Maybe I'm somehow long down there. I doubt it. NEO, look at NEO now. Back to day's high, man. I don't know what to do. I could kick my feet up, but then what would we do? What's up, bro, dude?
A couple of Apple suppliers. So we had the news on Apple with increase in production for iPhones coming up first half of next year. This one, guys, one of the suppliers, along with QRVO, also getting a boost on that news this morning. So SWKS, 4.25%. Decent volume there. If I flip over to this one, QRVO, 4% as well. A little bit thinly traded, but Apple suppliers getting the Apple bump as well, guys.
Going to come back and to Pfizer, which was the first, I think it was the first trade we had on, or certainly when 39 broke, one of the first ones off the open. It is holding 38.50 once, twice, now trying to do it a third time. But look at how shallow this bounce was. This is why I'm hanging on to the last little bit here. I want 38.50 to break. Oh, well, technically it's 56 is the low, but I want that 50 to break, and then I can hang on to this 39. I just think we have a good shot at getting all the way down to maybe $1 winner there. Bit of a bounce in Airbnb, but still in the money, $1.25 after that huge flush off 125. But I want to go back to this MindMed, and again, this is why we go over our watch list, but also names that were heavily traded the day before. We talked about the share offering. This, if I show you yesterday's action, you can lay out a plan all you want, but you got to be able to take the trade. I'm just kicking myself because right into a failure on a pop at yesterday's close, and then right back retesting the bottom yesterday at 470, 457 is what we talked about there. So basically the exact range you would be looking for. I mean, it's crazy how I hate the word obviously doesn't work there because trading isn't always that easy. But man, that's really bouncing off some obvious levels. In MindMed, going to be keeping an eye on some of those a little bit later on in the session. Baidu. How do I even forget to talk about Baidu? What am I even doing here? I don't know what to hit here, Sean, so we'll go with the roller coaster because this name just broke 175. Now that it's hit that 175 target, I am going to put a trail on it. I don't know where Baidu's going, to be perfectly honest with you. So when it comes to targets to the upside, I'd probably just throw something in front of 180 and then a trailing stop through 185. Lock in like $3, I guess, and then see if we can get like 5 to 7, something along those lines. It's a 172 break long. Certainly you could have had a 170, 150. That looked actually just as good with that pre-market high. But Baidu in the money now, $4. It can't do any worse than 3.
Guys, I mean, this is, again, thank you so much. It's going to be a Merry Christmas for sure this year. I mean, look at Peloton just ripping here. We talked about this 123.50 level, and there it is, man. Here comes 125. We're just going to hold the rest of this. It's going to break through 125 and just keep screaming up. What's up, Brian?
I mentioned FSLR earlier. Here's CSIQ as well. Some of the solars through 40 here for CSIQ. Some of the solars, guys, definitely showing relative strength so far.
Solar showing some strength. I mean, Baidu getting, all you got to do, what did we say about just mention that you're getting into the EV space? It's like, yeah, there's a 3% bump for you. Yeah, well, 8% looks like it. Now it's trying to roll over right here at 176.33, which means head back to the downside after an up move if you haven't been following along in the show. But either way, I do have my trail in. That is good to go. Pfizer is bouncing off 366. I can't see. I really don't know what Brendan is doing with what obviously is a fantastic trade in OCX that I don't have short. But it is just bouncing like 310 to this 330, right around that 320 level, just back and forth consolidation. It just feels like if it breaks up, likely to test that 370, 380, which I'm hoping for if I can get into the position. But if it breaks down, this was a $2 stock, and Brendan's going to have a home run if it breaks down from here. Call it a 310 break to the downside on OCX.
Yeah, home runs so far. I don't know what the record is for home runs in a Major League Baseball game, but we have 6 today. Big time.
You know what the record is.
Is it 4?
You know, you can't hit 5. You're not hitting 5.
Yeah, 5, yeah. So we're breaking records today. Peloton breaking through 125. We took some more, got some out right there. 125.23, man. The saga continues here. Okay, so here it is. A nice little drop there for Apple. We are out right there on Apple. So a $1.40 win, you can see. So we'll dance that one off. Big time win on that. Neo still coming through as well. Oh, wow, that is loud, that music.
What was that?
Yeah, let's turn that music down there, Rob, if you can. I think that probably blew some people's ears off. Okay, Neo, we just got some out. We didn't take some out at the high side, but we're almost out of Neo. And then there's CCL as well. We took it out all on the way back up. So I'm pretty light right now. It's only 9:57. I'm double the daily goal. I told you we got to set those daily goals a bit higher, and maybe we'll do that. But what a big, successful day. I hope all y'all are loving it. What up, B?
Just notice this one, guys. No significant headlines to pass along, but Palantir down 4% here today. 26 bucks coming into play at the bottom end, which has been a decent level if you go to the daily time frame. No news, but Palantir pretty weak, 4% today.
And yeah, that stop shakes me out of Baidu, so we'll take a $3 win here on that name, but it's immediately trying to retest that high. I think what I'll look for, it's 10 o'clock here, so a little bit early for consolidation at the top and playing reversals, but if we're still toying around with this 75 to 76 in about half an hour, so you're likely to see me jump into Baidu the other way. Speaking of the other way, Airbnb, we are still short. It's trying to hold this 120. Well, it didn't actually even get to 124, but it's trying to hold this area. I did get near the bottom for my out here at 121.75 when 120.22 broke. I actually have a bid in front of 120. If it gets there, I'm just anticipating every $5 there might be support in Airbnb. Not that any of it's actually held to the downside, but that's going to be my target either way. About $3 from that right now, and it's holding about $1.50 in the money for me. Before we come back to you, Sean, I just want to cover AI. I know we talked about, I don't know if we talked about Dash either, but AI making another push up. It sees $5 breaks, man, like it breaks 105, straight to 110, slams off of it, it goes to 109.90, slams right back down, breaks 105, and then look at this, holds 105 even. It's like these $5 levels randomly are just working a little too well. I feel like we're missing opportunities over here in AI.
Yeah, I mean, some of these new, I have not been trading well with some of those. 124.40 here on Peloton is going to be the out. And what I'm talking about there, sorry, was the IPOs. Like, I trade them and I lose. And
oh, wow.
You know, when they go down, I'm not short, I'm only long, and vice versa. So we're going to wait on that one. Look, 124.40 here. Peloton doesn't want to go, let's get out of this one. We don't want to turn winners into losers again, guys. So Peloton, big time win for me today. But 124.50, 124.40 is going to be an area of concern for me right now on PTON, as that one just keeps on rocking to the downside. 124.45 or so, we'll drop it if we can on Peloton. And then other than that, NEO still rocking and rolling right now as well to the downside. So we're going to wait to see on NEO, but we have 10%. If it breaks this view up, we're out. Breaking through 42, let's get out. We're long 41.72, big trade. Not my number one stock. That would actually be CCL today, Neil.
Nice. I was squinting because I looked at that chart. I was like, that's nice. And it was NEO. So that's my negative stock. I tried to buy on the dip and I lost. I like to see when you get revenge for me, Sean, because that means I don't have to revenge trade NEO because we managed to hit it. I finally got into OCX, embarrassingly. Anyways, I got the short when it broke 3 even, so my price is going to be like 302. It smacked back up. I'll use that 320 area as my out. But I am very, very late to this party. We'll see how well dressed I am. In the event that this goes up, I might lose 15, 20 cents on it, and I might have a second losing trade of the day, which, we'll take it. A great day is a great day either way. We need to get over to the big screen because it's time for... Oh, not yet. Sorry. No, we're not ready for happening now, which means I can go back over quickly to Airbnb before we get to Brennan for happening now. It just made a bounce. Well, yeah, a bit of bounce off this 121.50 low. I've already taken profit down around this range. So the key thing here is if it can hold this 124 and then roll over, I think we're going to get our 120s. If it doesn't, I'm probably going to have to get out if it holds 120, 150 a third time. Certainly, you can't just stare that $2 and not take it when it's there for you. Now we're ready for happening now. Let's go to the big screen with Brennan.
It is 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets here. We are in positive territory. Nice look, in fact, right across the board here. You can see the S&P 0.6%, the Dow back to the upside 0.3%. Once again today, it's tech stocks leading. So a nice look here for the NASDAQ 0.8%. Both the composite and the 100. Small caps having a nice day once again today, 0.6% to the upside. Here in Toronto, TSX 0.5%. Brazil higher by about 0.6% as well. Few things from the watch list, guys, to keep in mind. Yeah, positive news for Moderna, but they sell it every single time. 170, 157.5 to 158. All the way down to 146, $10 almost to the downside for Moderna. Eli Lilly, we mentioned picking up that Prevail Therapeutics. Bit of a range here, 162 to 158, but a bit of a choppy mess overall. Initial weakness, but we're right back to the highs for Eli Lilly. And wanted to mention this one, XPeng, still hanging out above 49. That was the resistance here in the pre-market. So resistance turning into support, it looks like, for XPEV. Guys, back over to you.
Yeah, we've only got Neo love here on that front, but there it is, small cap recap, sector watch, and money talks all coming up. I want to give a big shout out to MindMed and Kevin O'Leary and JR Ron. Thank you so much. Our video is up there. Talking about videos, we're doing something exciting right after the show today. We've been asked about this, and it's been about like trying to create like an ultimate guide to something, right? Like the ultimate guide. We don't sell anything here, right? Like some people will do these videos and then say, oh, you know, unlock the value for $49.99 a month, something like that. Nepa, says the Englishman that doesn't speak French. Coming up soon, guys, we're going to do like a know everything about scalping video. So it's going to be, you know, roughly couple minutes long. By about that, I mean about a half hour. We'll see how that goes. We'll talk everything about scalping. You guys want to know what it's about? This video is your guide. It's your Bible to scalping, coming up right after the show. We're going to see that. Okay, we did drop off our Peloton there. We'll try it one more time if it breaks above 25, but the 6 for 6 is intact right now as Neo going up. We're still positive on Peloton. Neo still going to the upside right now. Good trade on that. Other than that, man, we're just sitting down watching the market go right now. What up, B?
I have to show you this for those who are so inclined. Royal watchers beware. Harry and Meghan, guys, going to produce and host podcasts for Spotify. Confirming that deal.
Snap.
So a little pop there for Spotify. It's actually pretty thinly traded. Not a lot of volume so far, but just popped up to 328 there for Spotify.
Good look for Spotify there. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're into the Royals. Well, look, a lot of people are. There's no way around it. Oddly enough, Sean, you're talking about home runs. I can't make this up. I wore my Toronto Blue Jays mask today, and Sean mentions 4 homers in a game is the record. Well, believe it or not, Blue Jays tie. Carlos Delgado, much better player than you remember. He hit 4 bombs in a game. He's a J. And hard-hitting Mark Whitten. I don't know if you remember that guy. He didn't do it while he was a J. But he holds the record with 4 bombs in a game as well. So you beat them both up. Although I'm still a big Delgado fan. Probably should have got more love for the Hall of Fame. That's another story. Genius Brands. I talk about the previous close as like a psychological anchor for these pullback trades. This is a 183. And if you're looking at it, where is it consolidating? Right here, 180 to 183 on the lower end. I actually have a bid, another bid down here at 180. I still am going to hold on to, like the last 10% of the position, just in case we can go even lower than this. But this is why you aggressively take it out. That's usually going to be that target. It's $2 into that 180. It's that 10% move. Both those things working out rather nicely. Missed opportunity here. Now, we managed to get Airbnb. We managed to get Baidu as well to the long side. Chewy, on the other hand, I feel like it had done like 20 or 30,000 shares in the pre-market, so it wasn't necessarily as big on the radar. But that doesn't mean the trade wasn't good. I threw out that 85 level, but I didn't throw out a stop. So there you go. It just made another break to the upside, up $1.40. We did mention it on the way to 85, but I didn't throw a stop order for whatever reason. I'll call it old age. Why not? We'll just go with old age.
Chewy, I'm loving Chewy. You guys know that. We tweeted that out not too long ago. We sent out our friend Daniel Shea there about Chewy, and you guys know we're hell along that one from IPO days. So Chewy, love you as we keep on going. What else are we loving right now, man?
I'm loving OCX because I can be literally
Post Malone. I thought.
How is it possible 25% to the downside from when Brendan got in, and I'm chasing it that far and still managed to get a little bit of a winner here? It is a scalp trade win. So my short was at 30. Well, average price at about 303 here, 3 and 305 we got in. Just got some out in front of 290. I don't think I can get much better than 275s and 260s if it even goes any further than that. I'd be definitely surprised here, guys. So that's going to be my look. I don't want it to break that 320 to 325 area for sure. I think maybe it catches a bit off of that, but either way, I'll go with the yeehaw because that has to be a good one for Brennan. I mean, definitely going to be a good trade. Whether or not it's better than Neo, that remains to be seen. I said Airbnb, if it tried to bounce off of 121.50 again and bounce to the upside, I would have to look to take this trade off. So, it is what it is. It was a good break at 125. This party might be done here. So if I can take it out and still make a couple of bucks on the trade, I'm just going to have to go ahead and do that. It just feels like I don't want this to bounce to the upside too far on me. So it tested it. There's 1, 2, 3 bottoms, consecutive higher lows. 215 we'll take on this last out. We did get better at the bottom, but sometimes your last out can't be the perfect trade. I feel like I missed an opportunity to get 50 cents extra. either way, good short. It started out as an okay long, and then a fantastic short on Airbnb. Brennan, what's up?
This one just popping up in front of me here. Datadog, guys, big volume spike and a price spike as well, from 103 up to 105.5. Still a little bit thinly traded, but just went through 103 there on huge volume, guys, for Datadog.
Okay, guys. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, guys, as I look at this. What a call, honestly. Like, if you only take one trade today, take this one. I gave you AMD, and you could hit the rewind button if I could find it, but it doesn't matter. $98. I gave you AMD, guys, off the open. $96 long, and then we had a $96.50 break that we missed. We paid up and got $96.90, but we're at $98 right now on this name. So really, really loving AMD right now as a long-term shareholder as well, but I like this call for day trading. We talked about why I liked it more than NVIDIA. We could check back in NVIDIA, see what NVIDIA is doing. Probably still a monster. No, see, not really. I was going to say probably still a monster day, but this is why, man. It just doesn't move the same. AMD and NVIDIA, so watch out there. Peloton just breaks through 125. We took it again, guys.
And still going to the downside, just broke 38.50, is Pfizer. So we talked. There's a lot of stocks that had this look where it was sort of a pre-market. We're testing yesterday's low and then also a support level from whether it was earlier on in last week or going all the way back to December 1st here and in the 30th as well. Now we're approaching this 38 mark. I'm looking at 38 quarter actually. It's $1 from yesterday's close as opposed to just 39 to 38. So I'll definitely get some out in front of that quarter. Pfizer has been fantastic for me. It is not necessarily the #1 stock, but that's really just because Airbnb and Genius Brands were so good. Either way, Pfizer, it gave you 2 shots at it, and I love it. I do want to come back, if I can, very briefly to MindMed, which had a bit of a big bounce here. Look at this double bottom, right at the opening range low at 472, and then it halts up on a 10% move. So I'm going to be watching 520. If it gets back to that halt price where it opened and flush, I'm going to take a bit of a short in front of 520 on MindMed, and if it breaks out, maybe reverse into a long to see if it can't test that 550. But these levels have held so well so far. How could I not play 520 over here in the CSE?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, MindMed, good little look there. You can also trade at MMEDF on the pinks if you don't have access to some of the Canadian markets. So definitely watch out for that one. Put MindMed on your radar, that's for sure. And off yesterday, great interview. If you don't understand the company or you want more questions, go to our Market Wisdom page and you will see the MindMed interview there yesterday. Thank you to Brendan for knocking that one out of the park, as per usual. Okay, other than that, though, we're still rocking and rolling with Peloton right now, seeing if that one wants to make a difference one way or the other. Still 125. We're long right here, trying to make new highs. We're going to put an order at 125.40 or so. If it does spike up, maybe we can get hit there and get lucky enough to take that trade. NEO's $1 in the money, and CCL back downside now 45 cents back into the money as we look to make that new lows here. This was my biggest trade. Not of the month, but it's just the shares that were on there meant a lot. My biggest trade of the month was a loss on DoorDash from a dollar amount there on the IPO. But today, man, we're 6 for 6, 7 for 7. We'll keep on running this. And right now, not too many more ideas. A lot of people asking me about BFT. Am I still in BFT? Yes, I'm still in BFT. I'm long 1287. I took some more long, I think, when it broke through 13. So my average price is okay. If a lot of you have just bought it recently, look, these are SPACs, right? We've already talked about that sort of in depth on the show. And these are going to move around. Like, I can't sit here and worry too much. I don't think you guys should either about some of these plays, as they're going to bounce around. There's nothing you can do about it. These SPACs are very volatile, so just watch out. I think 1350, we've called, I'm going to throw to Brendan, but we'll do a little more work. But 1350 has been a big reload spot, and that's where I would look to get more. I'm not going to get more, but that's a good spot, 1350, if you don't want to pay up right now. What's up?
Usual volume on that one right off the open this morning. BFT on the downside. Just want to mention this one as well, guys. Boeing 1% now to the downside. We mentioned some production delays on the 787 Dreamliner, not the MAX, but the Dreamliner, breaking 229 here at the open. We're down to 225, but looking a little heavy once again for Boeing.
Just to go back to VERU here, obviously there were some good opportunities. I had 2 shorts here, one in the pre-market that was mixed result, and then a nice little one that we're adding to on VWAP. But the second I got into this retracement trade, it immediately broke 11, tested to 11.10, and this is what liquidity looks like on this stock. So yes, it's an $11 name. Yeah, the volume is good, but when it breaks these levels, it's not like there's 20, 30,000 shares around here, guys. So I gotta have a tight stop. If it breaks through this high, I will back off this until it gets to like 11.50 or so. You don't want to throw away the profit from a day like this, certainly. And this is just feeling a little bit frothy, well, a little bit strong heading into this 11.10. So I'll take the 25-cent hit on this and then move on if I can. Genius Brands, I guess. I talked about that previous close. Forget about that. It just broke. I just got someone at $1.75. I have very little left on this position. It just feels like, I mean, wow, I did not expect to be staring in the face of a 30-cent move potentially here. But if it breaks 170, that's exactly what it'll be. I'll probably look at $1.65 to get out. VERU, I'm out of that one. I'm looking for 11.50. If it can roll over at that price, I'll jump back into the short trade. But that's looking strong as well. Can't say the same for Genius Brands, OCX, and Pfizer. All three of those shorts looking pretty good.
So far today, and again, this is why, CCL goes all the way down there, and we got in, and we got to get out now. We had too many bids there. We're flat on CCL. So there we go. We'll clear that off right now. But okay, so CCL, big win there. And I was just going to say, like, really happy with the way some of these trades have taken off today for us. CCL was just a monster to the long side, to the short side, sorry, off there. We do have that wick. I got to get rid of it. There we go. So 2070, great trade on that one. We're just baby long there as we had a bid get double filled there. So we'll get out of that. I'm not worried about it. And then Peloton, guys, a nice move. We did go long 125 again. We got out where we said we would in the 30s there, 35. So now we'll wait to see if it takes out 50. Peloton, I like it as a non-reopen trade here. More people at home spinning these bikes, man. We're long also in our swing account on this trade. So I do like what Peloton's doing right here to the upside. But watch out. We still could break through 124. We're not too heavy in this name. Big trade alert was down here at 123.50 on Peloton.
Yeah, and Pfizer just came back to that 38.50 mark. So look, it gives you the break, and this is the momentum you're looking for at an obvious level like that. Like any stops that got triggered, they're probably trailing down like 10 cents or so, and then it turns around just a little bit further than that. We're still in a nice downward trend, so I'm not going to pull my order or anything, but you want to make sure you don't have a winning trade turn into a loser. I know we're far away from that, but either way, if it comes up to VWAP, I'm going to think about shorting at 75, but if it breaks through like that 38.80, it'll still be like a 20-cent win on the last bit of this trade, and I'll certainly have taken it out by then. But it's right now sliding down towards 38, so this still looks like a good one for me here. Of course, I got out of that Airbnb. Looks like that was the right call. It's bouncing back up through VWAP here at 124. I feel like 125 still could be a thing, so if it bounces any higher and I see any kind of size on that level, I'm going to see if I can't jump back into it with a 125 stop. I'll have to put a new one in because I just canceled the old one when I go in short. But Brendan, what's up, bud?
I know a little biotech to have a look at. ANCN, many of you have probably seen this already, but Anciano Therapeutics teaming up with this ChemoMab, which is a private company to further develop a fibrosis treatment that they are working on. So this one up, 237% on that. Just broke $5 again, back to the upside for this ANCN.
Wowzers, right. That looks like a good one there. I always like to see a good little runner at this time of the day, which usually means we're looking for a bit of a pullback. But I like when it tests these levels. It's just, I'd love to see it extend, and this is what you sort of see here. It's not the biggest, on the 1 minute, it's not the biggest candle on the push up. I like the biggest and last one to be a push right into the high. So if it does do that, right at that 560, I would jump into the trade. Also have to make sure we got some locates on there. Like I said, I'm still looking at that 125 on Airbnb. Not quite there, and it's trying to roll over at VWAP instead of 125 even. I'm playing the $5 levels. Like I said, AI and Airbnb just seem to work really well off of them, at least for a couple of days now. So I'll continue with that pattern until it's broken. There's Pfizer again through 38.50, so that stays in the money for me. But all eyes on this new ANCN at 560, which is the current high. Let's see if I can't get that fade.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Daryl if you're around. What do you think about this CCL carnage here today? I just wish we'd still held it as we are now at day's low for CCL. So big trade alert on that one. Neil has tons of bangers today too. I mean, it's funny, Neil. And look, you always say I'm not going to lie. So when you stepped in today, and it was, what was it about?
Oh, you know what I said.
It was about 8:15. What did we say? Remember
I don't know that. I mean,
it's not calling you.
You said there were things to look at. I was like, no, it feels pretty thin today. Yeah. I don't know how much I like. And then next thing you know, there was all kinds of opportunity. I do have to say, you might not see me get into this ANCN. I know it's pushing up to 560, but looks like we don't have any locates on this yet. I will keep trying because I want this one in the event that it turns around up 240% and testing, you test a pre-market high like this after a gap up and follow, and that kind of a sell-off. I'm always going to want this rollover. I just might not be able to get it here on ANCN, but that's okay. It's already been a good trade this morning. If we can scalp it, we can. And speaking of scalping, I don't know, that's not even the best segue there. We've been doing it on Genius Brands. You see us do it all the time as day traders here, getting in and out in short time frames, taking advantage of low fees and also the ability to make multiple trades through here in direct market access. But it's a style that you might be interested in, so we're gonna do, it's like a half-an-hour video, guys. Well, targeting that range, a little bit more in depth than we usually do when it comes to education, and all on one topic. So tune in. We'll be right after the show. We'll grab a quick coffee, maybe go to the bathroom if we can, and then jump right back on air and teach you guys all about scalping.
Yes, and the reason why I brought that up was just the fact that, we don't know on any given day what's going to be good or not. I just know that, we love trading, and if you love it with us, then you're at the right spot because every day we'll try to find you the winners, and we'll try to get those to you live here on the show. I mean, look at these trades. Here's Peloton, do you not like 123.50 right now? That's our initial long. Look where we're at. We're long again off these double tops. So hells to the a nice little 80-cent win second time around on Peloton. So that's a good trade for us. And then here we go. Neo as well. Do you not like $1.50 winners rate? I mean, look at this Neo pickup right here. Bang, bang, bang. Run, little Neo. Run all the way up here to 43 and change. Amazing trade right there. And Peloton. So those are the two names we have left. We're at the highest spot all day. The cash cow won't stop, can't stop. One person that never stops is Brendan. Hardest working man around. What up, B?
Hey guys, let's go to small cap world. Have a look at a few that were moving around in the pre-market. I want to start with this one, VERU. We've been mentioning this over the past couple of days. You can see on the daily chart, this is now a 1, 2, 3, 4-day move to the upside. Reason I say that is watch this level down here from yesterday, 975. If we do get back down to where we ended the day yesterday, this thing has a long way to fall. If it is going to. But one and done for me on this one today. 1175 was this little resistance area from the pre-market. Above that, there was $12, but could have added there on that pop at the open. Nice move down to 1020 for VERU. It's kind of grinding higher. OCX, I mentioned 380, 375, 380. And then above that, nothing really until 450 up to 5. So I had those marked off as well, but it's just grinding to the downside, coming into 280 as we speak. MCEP, another little one that popped up actually after market yesterday. 475 ended up being a resistance level in the aftermarket yesterday. So 475, and then above that, $5 never even came into play. Nice little move down to $4 for that one. So nice look for a number of small caps this morning, guys.
I'm going to go over this Moderna here. It talked about the rollover trade. Look, you can have an idea, but certainly it has to go towards your plan. And usually when I take this trade, I'm looking for a clean push up into either first resistance 180.58, or in this case it was 160. And it never happened, so I didn't get in. I would normally like the breakdown trade here at 155.50 if that had been the pre-market low, but it wasn't. So that's why I never got into the short on Moderna. You can like the direction and have a bias, but you got to have an actionable trade for an entry point. Someone asked about what about OCX. I think I just threw in the chat that I'm going to start to take this out. I'm so late to this move that if it and it's trying to base out here around this 290 to 3 even area, then if it comes back up, there's just so much room till VWAP that why am I going to risk 20 cents on the trade when it just might not be giving me more than this 5 to 10 cent move. It's not a horrible entry price here, but I just feel like at this point you can't chase profits that you've missed. If I only end up getting 10 pennies overall on this stock for everything, why not take it? And I'm not going to let this break 305. That was my last exit point. So if it bounces up to 305, I'll lose a penny or two on the final third, and then look for a re-entry a little bit deeper. Deeper, I guess isn't the word, a little bit higher here and closer to VWAP. So I'm not done with OCX. It's just, like I said, don't chase what you have missed. It's not going to work out for you many times. I do want to, we'll go to Brendan. I want to come back and we'll talk a little bit about Snowflake. What a
My chart is not working, guys. I'm going to show you this Ren Sola, if I can get it to come up. There we go. SOL. So we talked about First Solar, FSLR, their CSIQ. My daily chart is frozen, so I'll get rid of that and maximize this for you. Because I wanted to show you this level up here. We're coming up to yesterday's high on this, which was 765. Long way to get there, but we did. 765 for SOL, one that's been on the move the past little while, guys.
So the only thing I wanted to say about Snowflake is if you go way back into here before 8 o'clock, well, basically right at 8 o'clock, when they had a big flush down on Snowflake, of course, we're talking about the lockup expiry today. There was this 323 level. It tried to pop up there in low volume, and then it really started to flush. We're testing right back into this range, consolidating. So you're going to see me jump into something to the short side off of this 322, 323 area. It's not the pre-market high. It's just where that first bounce spot was, and it is on low volume. So take it with a grain of salt. Those levels aren't anything you want to get too married to, except for the fact that if you go all the way back, and this is why I like this confirmation here, you go all the way back to like the third, I think that's the third, you look at this bottom in the afternoon on a pullback, and it's right at that 323, 324 area. If I didn't have that confirmation, I wouldn't just jump into something like this and immediately love going against the grain on a $20 bounce that just happened in snow. It is still down in the day. That's only because it was a huge pre-market fall.
Yeah, I mean, we like that snowflake. I mean, I was loving that snowflake down at 305 there. But Neo, I hear a lot of talk about Neo, and yeah, congratulations, man, with that. I mean, anybody with that? Someone said bread and butter, baby, with Neo, and where is that? I mean, that was a good one. Wherever it was, you know who you were with said that, so good look on that. And I think it's about going back to the well, right? We talked about that earlier, and I mean, you know, I said every single day, there's certain stocks that you have to look at on a daily basis. I'll take it off my screen. You see, this is a different sheet here because, you know, we have right now the tape on top. These are like 7, 8, 10 names, I don't know, that we have there. That is the top lists of some stocks that we look at every single day. And Neo is definitely on there, so you got to watch out for that. So watch out with some of those plays here for Neo, but nice little 5% boost. And the thing is, guys, even yesterday, some of you want some longer term calls. We talked about picking up Neo as it gets closer to that 50 period moving average on the daily. So if you did that, congratulations. And you know, you're up a lot right now. You want to talk about up a lot? We just took off Peloton there at 126. That's $2.50 from this level. I'm long in the swing account 117. We're going to relook at that one. We may get out of that at some point because this Peloton is just going up and away. I do like it. Remember being added to our friend in the NASDAQ coming up on Friday, I believe it is, with Marvell. And then you have the big Tesla reweighting that we haven't even looked at yet.
Right.
Oops, into the S&P. I think it was 640. Yeah, 640, 650. Like, this is why, I mean, I do have it up, but this is pretty choppy here, man. I don't trade. This is way too choppy. Maybe if you take out 650, but we got a little ways to go. But Tesla, congratulations again on anybody along that one, including Randy, wherever you at.
Man, I just missed Snowflake. It is what it is. Maybe haven't missed it just yet, but Snowflake, I was trying to get some shares here right about that 321 in the middle of this consolidation range to start that short position. It just it looks like it's ran away from this price. The spread is so big at times here, like $1, that I just don't want to be paying down into it too much. I might have to go with a midpoint order to give it another shot. But if I missed a trade, you missed a trade. I'm not going to chase it too far to the downside. I do want to come back to this. Of course, I mentioned MyMed a couple of times. The play was going to be, and I did say I was going to do this, off of this 520 here, both the halt on the upside and then it reopened top. I thought I'd short in front of it and then work it all the way down to the low. It didn't quite get there, so the idea was sound. I just probably should have started it a few cents away instead of like 2, maybe like 4 or 5, give it some more room. You can see what happened, obviously. The idea, fantastic. It's just like 3 fantastic ideas, and I just am too busy trading other things to monitor the executions. If you're trading a MyMed, it's almost like your focus should be on the stock. The volume is so good. You can just trade something like that, one and done, over and over again, and be the only thing you're looking at if you're super active on it. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
Another one that's pretty active today, 8.5% for this VLDR. If you remember way back when Citron came out and said they don't like laser, but they do like this one when it comes to this group, that LAZR. VLDR again today, 8.5% to the upside. Couple more upgrades on this. Needham was one of them with an upgrade on this one. You remember we were up around 22 and a half going back to last week for VLDR, guys.
Okay, I mean, I don't I don't know what to do here, guys. I mean, we're at a high spot right now. NEO still now $2 in the money, and actually $2 even from here, more than $2 in the money as we go. And then Peloton right now, Neil, making moves again to the high side. So, I mean, there goes Peloton, days high, and we gave this one to you down here. I don't know where the stopping spot's going to be for Peloton. I love the name. I talked about it all day here today, even off the open, how much we liked it. It was 122. It went down to 120 today. Right off here, we're long this name. I think it breaks out and goes to 140. So watch out though. We have some tops right now. 126.50. These little wicks is 129. I don't think we get there, but watch out. 126 and change. We're gonna look for a spot to maybe get out. Maybe 125.40 if it comes all the way back down. But right now, nothing but love for you, Peloton, and for you, NEO. Both multiple dollars in the money. You know what? You know what's faded back in here that we haven't looked at really in a while? Uber here, down to 52 already. A nice little move today, but we're right at these levels where yesterday's high, 52.60. We could get a pullback into 52 and change maybe right now on Uber. Let's just check out a quick daily chart on this one. Okay, 55 high, 52. We got it. It doesn't look great here. I still got to clear this 48 to the bottom. Uber just showing up here as it's, I don't know why. It's only done 4 million shares, but that's Uber. And our Apple long, 125 early. That was a good one. Our best out's 126.30. Good thing we got out on that stop order, as now it's just breaking around and not doing too much dancing here, I'd say. Watch out for a 125 break on that as well. But Peloton and NEO just keep going up, guys.
Oh, Karen Jellyhead there, one of our viewers here. Yeah, I hope that meant that you have Lordstown short. Maybe you caught that turn. Wow, that's a fantastic one there. I mean, obviously, I wasn't looking at it. This wasn't necessarily on our list today. I guess it should be every single day, any of these EV names. But right into the pre-market high on, you look at the volume spike, you get the semi-parabolic move, not really, but close enough. And you get the consolidation, the lower high, and now pulling back in. If it retests the top, I might take a shot at it. But I want to get back to Pfizer in a quick second here. Still sliding downside. No trail on yet. But if it fails to get out of this 45 to 50 range for too much longer, I'll probably just take the profits and run on Pfizer on that 39, which we've had a couple of times here. Brendan, what do you got for us?
Yeah, we didn't mention that Lordstown this morning, but there was actually a Goldman Sachs upgrade today, guys, on Lordstown, which is this ride. So, yeah, nice move so far. Back to the upside for that one. Valeria is watching what's going on over in Europe. There's about an hour left in the session over there. What is moving today, Valeria?
Hey, Brandon, European shares are mixed. Brexit remains in focus. JD Sports, trading in London, is up more than 2% after it said it bought US retailer Shoe Palace for more than $300 million. Back to you.
Yeah, nicely positive so far, right across the markets over in Europe, guys.
Another one of these high flyers just like seconds ago making fresh highs. So you guys talking about SLS making just another push. This is like the third one today alone, and it's definitely the biggest now that's breaking through that 850 mark. Just all things in perspective, guys. This stock has come back heavily from almost 20 top. So there is probably room to squeeze again. But look, I'm looking at the fade right here, right now at this 850 mark. It just actually turned around. You get the parabolic move. You get a bit of a consolidation here. You definitely had some people that would have been taking the secondary long through 8. They might be thinking, oh gosh, it's not going through 850. So I'm going to take my shot here if I can and just make sure. Yeah, we do have the shortable shares in this name. I know we didn't have them. Immediately forget the name of the stock I was just talking about, but the last one we didn't have the shorts of. We do have them in SLS. I'm going to start my run here. Did I just say start my run like I was actually in Star Wars going into the trench of the Death Star? Whatever. I don't know. I'm a bit of a nerd here, guys. But 850 is going to be my level. It did wick up to 860, but I don't want to give it the high a day if I'm shorting this consolidation or this 35 to 40 area. Tighter stops when you're going against the grain. And this is not coming off a halt or anything. If it was off a halt, I definitely give it to the high a day.
Yeah, everyone there, Valeria looking really professional is the comment. But the thing about that is, guys, like we have 7,000 watching right now, and we only have 1.7K likes, Valeria. So, I mean, if they really did like what you're wearing, I think we could get this up a hell of a lot more. If you do like the wins today, Neil and I just pumping them out. Let's go. Let's go on the like crusade. I'm starting everybody to go here. We do the show for free. I want this YouTube algorithm to start finding us, man. So let's get these likes going. There it is, Valeria, 1.7K, instantly to 2. Let's just get this. I think we can get this at 2.5 at least. There's 2.1. The chat's going nuts again. So there it is, Miss V. We did it again, 2.2. There we go. Keeps on ripping to the high side right now. Thank you for the likes. I mean, if you don't like the show, then, I mean, I apologize, because right now, Neo, $2 in the money. Show it to Valeria there. She's giving the big thumbs up. There it is, guys. Wow. Like I said 2.5K there, Brendan and Neil, kind of as a joke. But there it is. We just almost doubled, like 2.5. We're still ripping up. There we go. We got super chats. We got everything going on. 2.6K right there. 1,000 likes we just hit there in 25 seconds. Thank you so much, guys, for that. Bang. We're cooking up winners, and you're cooking up the love. Much appreciated. Bingo, bango, bongo, Neil. There it is. Big time run for the likes.
And I'm just going to say that this is what caused it, because why not?
Wow.
But either way, I just hit my target on Pfizer, and I'm just going to say it was all of the love, and you guys put likes, and of course that doesn't move the market. But either way, thank you guys so much for the support. It is kaputs for this trade for me at 39. Always tune in at 8:30. When we start this show, obviously we'll go over as many names in the watch list as we can, but I think we both were on board with the idea to sell off Pfizer. And it gave you 2 cracks at it. So even if you missed the open, if you were watching that level, you certainly could have had it the second time when it retook 39. One other a new position alert I should probably let you guys know. While all that was going on, if I was distracted, it was Snowflake 325. I missed the rollover first at 320. That gave you a couple of bucks. So I'm not going to chase it the second time. But 325 staring us in the face. I got 24.66. So as long as my stop order works, not risking more than maybe we'll call it like $1 plus, depending on slippage. But if we can pull back here, this is a huge run back up 25 on the lockup expiration day. So again, it's relative risk is going to be small because we're tight to that 25 area, but that's where my stop is. Brendan, what's up?
So we're not negative yet, but the market is kind of grinding to the downside. Just wanted to show you some of the cruise lines here. We talked about Norwegian in the pre-market with an offering, again, 5.75%, almost 6% to the downside. We'll go over to CCL first, 3.7% to the downside. They all look exactly the same. I can throw up RCL, maybe the worst off here, 75 bucks up here in the pre-market. We're down to 71, 3.5%. So cruise lines really negative, guys, kind of forcing the market to the downside so far.
Okay, and there it is, guys. We took it out on Peloton on a 126 break. So I hope it shows at the bottom there the kind of damage that we're doing on some of these stocks. I know it does. Just definitely check it out. Thank you again for all the likes, the love, and the support as we just crushed 3K there, or close enough to it. I don't know if we hit it yet, but we're very, very close to 3K. Thank you so much for that one. I know you're loving the trades today, including Pfizer there. And look, I talked about Pfizer early and was getting a little bit of slack for that because I was saying that Pfizer, the move is done and all you got to do is short this thing. There it is. Good trade there. Good look for Pfizer. I know Neil has it. Rocket Companies goes all the way down to 21.65. We're longer this name. We bought more shares today. We talked about that in the pre-market for our swing account. I like Rocket. We just got to break, man. We got to break this level, 22.63, and then we'll break higher and higher and higher. I did talk about BFT a little bit before we went out to that break, but here it is on the daily chart. And again, man, it was just this stock's birthday, guys. You gotta wait for this to go. Like 1350, I think these are good areas to reload. If you're buying up here, I don't think, like, obviously I'm long, but I think we can get back there. If I didn't, I would be dumping. But, you know, don't just get caught. Like, we get tweeted out all the time, like, hey, guys, like, I'm long Kodak, like at $40 or something. What do I do? You know, Kodak's an NYSE stock. Just hold on a second. You know, when these stocks start to go parabolic, that's not the opportunity to get in. You sort of got to be in a little bit before then because look what happens. Some of these stocks get carried away, and if you get caught, you got to have outs. It's just like up here when Kodak goes to 14 or 15. Like, do you want to buy here, or do you sort of want to buy, take a little bit of a risk, kind of where we're at now, and then use a 50 period to get out? So that's kind of the logic there on BFT, and I don't mean to say that anybody's caught long Kodak. If you are, that is what it is, but there's a lot of these examples. SLS is another one. Some of these stocks that just go crazy.
Oh, before we go go to Brennan. Speaking of SLS, every now and then this is going to happen to you. Yeah, baby. Well, actually not. No, I didn't make the high of the day. So, sorry, 5 cents away from making the high of the day, but that is me. I did take the short. It did make the turn. I didn't have it because I got stopped out. It happens. It is what it is. I'll try to move on. I really wanted to get this one. I thought we had it, but we didn't. Brennan, what's up, bud?
Volume spike here in Carvana, CVNA. Haven't talked about this one for a while, but this is actually all-time high territory, guys, for CVNA. You can see big volume spike as we broke through that level, that all-time high level for CVNA.
Carvana, what a big-time mover that is going to be. I do want to come back, if I can, to Snowflake, which still consolidating off the top. I mean, if it gives me a chance to scalp some of this for the bottom end of the range and see if we can't hold, I ultimately think if you get to this like 319, 320 area, it very well could be the bottom. It just sold off so hard, and since the open, all of the volume has been to the buy side here. So I'm stepping in front of this train, and if I didn't have a price close to this tight to my stop, I will probably be a little bit concerned with it. But 324.66, I mean, certainly I could have had like 80s or 90s, but I'll take that. If it breaks through, maybe it's worth a revisit at pre-market highs and yesterday's close. 329.15, of course, the latter is yesterday's close, and this 328 would be that high of day. Just to quickly come back to one name that was a good one, definitely, and thank you guys for the 3,000 likes. Wowzers, we're already there, and we have an hour to go in the show. 4K, 5K, I don't know. I just got stopped up there on Snowflake 325. I'm now looking back at my 125 level in Airbnb. It turned around on a dime. If I can take another test of it, I'll take that shot, but it looks like maybe we can get a breakout trade again in Airbnb. I did have one long. I could make another if it reverses, but first things first, I'm going to go short in front of 125 even.
I'm just wondering, I wonder if there's ever going to be a spot where you could actually like line up and pay for the vaccine. I know it's free right now. I was just thinking about that, like how that would sort of solve. But you know what, paying for it would be inequality. Yeah, that's not a good idea. That's going to be a lot harder to get to. NCLH, Norwegian Cruise Lines there, falling down. I don't know why I'm still on Kodak, NCLH right now with CCL. Like this would have been a better short. My idea was initially, like, why is it still on Kodak? There it is. NCLH breaking back down below some of these levels. We talked about CCL today and how we didn't like that. Look at NCLH, big move to the downside. CCL, my largest. Come on, no! Why did we do this again? Well, we can't hold everything forever, but this was a big trade. Look where it is now, man. This could have been really setting our day off. We're at 0 LFT, and in day trade, the world language, that means you're at your highest spot of the day with no loss from top. Look at 20, though, guys. Here's some education. We're about to break 20 right now on CCL. Some size there, resisting a little bit. This could be a spot maybe to go long, but futures dropping down here. Watch out for Carnival, but what a great short that was to start the day at 20.76, guys. Back over at the big board. I like when we see all that blue there, though, Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500. Nicely positive indeed, right across the board, 0.7% for the overall market. There are some spots here that are showing some weakness. You can see energy stocks in particular, kind of have to cancel out these two, but everything else pretty weak in the energy group. Oil trying to hold on to pre-market gains as we speak, but we're seeing 4 to kind of 5% declines in some cases in the energy producers, but then 5%, 4%, and 3% down here for others. So offsetting, we are positive overall in the energy sector. I mentioned the real estate stocks much earlier this morning, still in positive territory. I want to talk about the banks a little bit. PLMR, TR, UP, and AEL in the insurance group leading the way so far for this sector. So this group is positive. Kind of cancel at that one because all of the individual banks, they're not huge moves, but they are in positive territory, helping to offset that 9% decliner. We have WETF, VRTS, and PIPR in the diversified group also having nice gains. Consumer discretionary and industrial stocks leading the way so far for the market. LDL, 14.5%. TWI and GTLS all kind of 3 to 5% in positive territory. So industrial and consumer discretionary stocks in positive territory. Dave & Buster's here, I just wanted to point that out. 5.3% today for Play. One that kind of jumped off the page for me here. BBBY here. There's some other retailers mixed in there. MIK again today, 5% on the retail side. So some of the back open stocks, as we like to call them, back in positive territory. So you want to look at banks, you want to look at consumer discretionary stocks to the upside. On that side, energy shares kind of offsetting things to the downside. Overall, though, nice day, 0.65% for the S&P. Back over to Neil.
And the nice day definitely continues. We'll go with yeehaw. Why not? We'll ride Airbnb. 125. I mean, just once again, this was the level we were looking at for the bottom break. Let's show you this on a 15-minute, just so you can sort of see what I was so not concerned with, but interested in yesterday's bottom. Bit of a bounce, but couldn't go far. Then consolidating right on that bottom pre-market, tried to bounce up, could not get past to that previous close of 130. The 125 break worked to the downside. It then retested it. I did miss it the first time. The second time we did not. 124.88 we got short. I did take some out in front of VWAP because I'm going to do that. And then the bottom of this range is 123, so I took it off shy of that. Could have had the entire move, but I usually the second time through anticipate, it's everyone's looking at the same thing. We're all going to be taking profit, or everyone's going to be taking profit, thinking it's going to go to 123. So I'll just get out in front of that, make it a higher percentage type of a win if we can, and then rinse and repeat. I still think, and I still have my order in to go long. If 125 breaks, I think we can scalp that one at least to like 126.50, something along those lines. But Airbnb, AI was similar. Now we missed out some opportunities on this, but it's these $5 ranges. You talk about 105 breaking on AI, C3 AI this morning, turning at 110. It went to 109.90, turned on a dime, came right back. Retest of 105 on a bounce. It gives you all the way down to what? Come on, look what price is this? 150. So right in front of that $100 level. So sometimes it's not that complicated, but when you look at the spreads of these names, this one right now a 3-cent spread, but it'll open up. The liquidity does dry up. It's like you're jumping from pond to pond, or from like bus station to bus station of liquidity on these names. And it's $5 here on AI. It's $5 on Airbnb. You're just sort of rinsing and repeating over and over again. You got to take advantage of these patterns while they're there, because I promise you won't see this every single day. You definitely and I'm a little bit surprised by this on Genius Brands, to be honest with you. It's still holding below yesterday's close, so it's given everything back and then some. I really don't have much left here, just the 199s that we got, the last entry point, this last little dig up here at the top in front of that $2 seller that we saw. And just to give you a higher time frame look here, if you go back, there were some support levels going into yesterday's action. Certainly there was a breakout at 175. If you go back to the longest consolidation, it was right at 168, 170. That's where my target's going to be. So that 170 mark, if we get back there again, I'll have a bid this time, and I'll just try to get out. It'll be just under a 30-cent winner, but it'll be story end for me on Genius Brands if we get it. I mean, it's not there yet, so I don't want to celebrate too early, but it can't be a losing trade because I have so little left of this trade anyway. So good look on Genius Brands. The thing about a level like this, Sean liked to break out through 2. I like to short in front of 2. If it works this well, that means the level was good, right? So that means we had a good idea for Sean to break long, because obviously floodgates would open up, and then it was a good idea for the short. Levels matter. Whether you get the trade or not, it's good that you can pick them. Brennan, what's up, buddy?
A little bit late to the party here, but STM Semiconductors breaking out in a big way. Look at the volume here. Big spike in volume through 36.30 was a little bit of resistance on the way up here. So the rest of the group obviously higher on upgrades today. If you remember last week, we were talking about this one. Big move down on a profit warning, but even STM back to the upside, guys.
Yeah, I mean, STM Micro, you gave that update to everybody early that we got upgraded on the semis. So, I mean, and we chose my favorite semiconductor to trade, or at least chip maker here, AMD. Good trade alongside there. Still making some moves. I'm thinking right now, this is not a horrible spot to think about another long here on AMD. So 97 break, I think we'll go long on AMD right now. And then just use the bottom like 96.75 or so. So about 25 cents. We'll see if we can't get it back to VWAP here. I think that makes some sense for us on AMD. So we will watch that one. Palantir's not really doing anything. We'll just put an order in to go long here on AMD. We do have a lot of people ask us, do we always take trades manually or not? I'm putting in a stop order right now to take this long through 97. So just to let you guys know that, so we don't have to sit here and watch it. That's AMD. Maybe even a pullback into 96.70 here. If we can get some longs back there, might be a decent spot as well. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Oh, I said we talked about some Palantir quickly. It's down today. Look, this is what's going to happen, man. The dance is going to continue on this stock. It's already been up through 30. It went to $33, down 5%. New money is not coming into this name right now, so you're going to have to wait. There's some stuff happening with Snowflake today. You know about that. Some of the SPACs moving around. We just got, I mean, I don't really have a spot to go long. This is why we haven't really talked about Palantir yet. It hasn't been super exciting to me. Come on, I got to show you the daily chart so I can make some sense of what I'm saying. Come on, let's go. This is what, it's caught right now. I mean, I don't want to trade Palantir until it starts to break one way or the other. So I'm waiting for it to go through 29 here, and then we're coming up to a bouncing spot at 25. I talked about reloading any longs if you've missed it. I think 22 is okay. But again, like a lot of these calls, it's not, we don't have a crystal ball. Like, you're going to have to play the market. I think the market is a bit overheated right now. So I do think there are some space and some time for these stocks to come back in. So watch out for Palantir to get to that 23 area. I think that's a good spot to put some bids on. And then if you are looking to take some calls, I mean, wait for January. I think new money has to come into this name.
Speaking of, you just said has some space, and then I'm going to go to space. Virgin Galactic here, pressing down towards the lows. Of course, it was at a boarded launch. That was the negative news yesterday. It's trying to take out the bottom from yesterday at 26 even. Now, it broke once, got to 25.92. So I look at the actual low of the day, maybe like a 25.90 break, not necessarily 26. It's going to be hard not to look at that for a bit of a day trade there in a scalp trade. But either way, I'm going to be looking through 25.90, not 26, because the current low of the day is what I'm concerned with. Brendan, what's up?
Just having a look at this one, VUZI, V-U-Z-I on the NASDAQ, 13.5%, just breaking out to the upside as well. Through 550 there, some volume went off. They're actually teaming up with Plug Power. So VUZIX is the company. They develop AR and augmented reality products. So Plug Power is actually using smart glasses. You can kind of see them in the corner there. For training purposes. So with COVID-19, everyone working remotely, you can put on these glasses, or the trainer can put on these glasses and actually show people watching what they need to do on these different machines. So Plug Power using VUZI's product, guys.
That's definitely pretty cool there.
Okay. I mean, and Plug Power today also, as you mentioned to us before, Brendan, in Walmart today. So I think that's on their e-commerce side. I think that's a big boost for Plug, obviously. We've talked about that before as well. Yeah, Palantir still not doing anything. Check back on AMD. We're at that spot that I was debating again. So I think it's worth a little small baby long right now, and then we'll just keep checking back on it. So AMD long right now. Give it to this bottom 50 break. But the market, I don't know. Let's wait. Let's see if the market can stabilize here. I still would rather take a 97 break, but a little baby long here, I guess, won't hurt.
So we always say sometimes don't get cute with your trades. I got cute with Airbnb. I had just finished talking about these 125s and like, blah, blah, $5 ranges, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then I had to just go short one more time. It was a good level. I tried to go 3 times. And as I was, again, I didn't want to adjust my stop order, so I went short for the amount of the stop. This is my stop out. I tried to sneak in a stop order to go long, but I was in and out so fast, and then I didn't want to chase this to 126. Look at where it turned, like right into that 127.50. I mean, like, give me a break. Like, that's exactly where I wanted to get out of the long trade. Of course, thankfully I did get out of the short and didn't lose $2 on it, but certainly I like the long. It had tested it so many times. We talked about not wanting to miss it. And then, of course, I go ahead and miss that trade. Snowflake is trying to roll over, but I am watching now Virgin Galactic getting very close to that 26 mark. And then, of course, 25.90, which is the low of the day. This didn't age well. Baidu was a great breakout. I got shaken out of this one for $3. Got to find a way to hold on to these trades a little bit better when you get a good break. It turns around at 181.65, so not even 180. Now this looks like it's trying to give a look. If this level breaks here and it's like a 178 to 178 quarter, if this comes down, it's sort of making a wedge down here. If this breaks, I think we get into VWAP. So Baidu, it was a great long. I didn't even capture the most of it, but I'm now looking to break out this short, break down in this short through 178.25 on Baidu. Great runner, 10% move, fantastic, but this looks like it could give you a VWAP retrace. Speaking of which, we're trying to make some more money here, but let's go to Brendan at the big screen for Money Talks.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. We'll have a look at what is moving around so far today. The possibility of further stimulus coming out of Washington, putting a little bit of pressure once again on the U.S. dollar. So we have the euro higher, the Canadian dollar 0.2% higher, the British pound though once again today 0.5%. You can see kind of leading the gainers so far today, approaching that 134 level. And then we have the Swiss franc, Australia and New Zealand. It was higher, but back to dead flat. 0.08 for Australia as well. But I threw Bitcoin up on the chart there because we're back to these highs once again. 19,400 coming into play. So just in shouting distance of those recent highs, up a full percent again today for Bitcoin, and Ethereum back in positive territory. It was actually down about 0.5% earlier, but being dragged along once again, guys. Back over to you.
Thank you very much there, Brendan. Baidu could trigger in any second now, and I feel like we're going to be all over when it does. I've mentioned a few times here in MindMed, it actually just broke that 470, the low of the day here. Now, of course, you know what? I don't even need this order here. Why am I still offering up at the top? Not likely to fill me. But either way, when I talked about that bottom end breaking, it's worth noting it was a 457 support that it's bouncing shy of off this 470. So that's why I'm not necessarily looking at long off the bottom here. It already gave you that trade. Maybe you can call it twice if you want to. So if it makes the push through this 470, I'll look to see if it can bounce off 457. If that breaks, I like the short momentum-wise. It's just come so far. I mean, this stock, it was 31 cents when we first talked about them on the show here, Sean. And
yep.
we talked about it again on the dollar break. So, people are going to there's going to be profit taking on something like this almost every single chance that you're going to get, or every single time. Pie in my face not believing in OCX short. Now, I got a small win on this. It should have been better. I talked about why I wanted to put in an even stop here. Just felt like I was so late to the party. And then it continues to go down. So maybe it does go to 250. Unbelievable turnaround. This one has been up at one point, 100+%, I do believe. Now coming all the way back to just 35%, which is fantastic if you're long overnight. But certainly all the momentum has been to the sell side. Good luck, Brennan, for actually capturing this short from the open, or pre-market, actually.
I mean, and here we go again. Yeah, good look on that one, Brendan. Hide your eyes here because we're going to do some belly dancing action right now. Because look at AMD, guys. Our video's on scalping, and this is what we're doing right now. Like 96.65 in again. We double it up, and then we get out to the high side there. Just for small wins, man. Put those fees in your pocket. We don't pay here. We actually get paid for adding liquidity at some point. So good little trade here for AMD in 66 right now, and we're up to 84, 85, 86. So yet again, guys, just another 20-cent win as we just continue the cash cow that is AMD. Another out right there. I mean, look, guys, I talked about getting long down here. So when we do it, hells to the yeah, we're going to celebrate a little bit. Nice ins and outs there on AMD. Now going back upside right now to 96.66, man. This is a 30-cent scalp back and forth, just in and out. This is like 1 minute, 2 minutes. So in 3 minutes, we take out 40 cents. Then we get out again at 88. Watch out for 97. I still do like the long if that comes through. That's 97 long here on AMD. So we still have that one. We're waiting for it to rock and roll. But what a great trade that is now, man. 25 cents in the money, and like we just took it just a couple seconds ago. Let's get out and see what happens at 97. High wick 96.70, 97 there. So let's get out in the mid-9. Let's just get out right now and take more long if we can. Celebrate these 20-cent wins, guys.
Yeah, you got to sell. Again, if you're scalping, that's the idea, right? Like, always know which style of trade you're doing because there's home runs to be had in AMD. Sean's had like dollar winners before, but if you know it's going to be a scalp trade, make sure you get those profits taken in there. That VLDR, just noticing it's still doing fantastic volumes, right? The volume is holding up going into what's getting close to lunchtime here. That's why I'm not going to fight this one, but it's going to make a test at the high of day. I want to see if it does taper off and we get back to like 2160. It might be worth a look. Baidu bounces off my level, so it doesn't give me the short trade. I do want to revisit SLS. Like, it's not that you can talk about the winners. We got to talk about the losers sometimes, and I feel like what should have happened here usually, and I talk about this all the time, you get wicked out on a trade like this, but the area is good. If it gives you the consolidation, I mean, it's not as good a price as I would have had the first time, but certainly it gives me a shot to get into this trade at 830 before a bigger flush down. And I say this, you got to have it. You cannot be afraid to jump right back in if the signal, if what you're looking for is still there, the conditions are met, and you have an entry point, just take it. It doesn't matter if you lost on the last trade. With the possible exception, if you notice that if you jump right back into something 5 minutes later or 2 minutes later after a loss, that you revenge traded, that you're not good at holding to your stops or your rules, then don't do it. But for me, I should have been back into it. I wasn't. Bit of a missed opportunity here in SLS. Brendan, what's up?
Just looking at Biocardia, BCDA. Big mover yesterday, if you remember. This went from $3 to $7 in the afternoon. Bit of a gap down this morning. There was an offering announced this morning, but starting to pop back up here with volume as well. Back towards day highs for this BCDA.
BCBA, you say. Okay, AMD breaks back above there. We'll look at that name in a minute. We do have some AMD long. It does break back above. We just scalp. I mean, we're talking about our strategies the whole time. Get in 97, out some 8s, 9s, and 10s there. The high on that break, I think, was 10. So we'll wait to see if we get some more out. I'll dump the rest of them if we get through 96.80, but we've just been pretty small here, taking small wins, based on the strategy of scalping that's coming up right now at 11:35. We're going to be doing a scalping video here. It's like hopefully your ultimate guide to scalping. Everything you need to know, we're going to try to cover it right there and right then, right after the show. So big one there. Tesla moving around, still looking at 640. Moderna, we talked about selling that one today. But other than that, man, right now we're just watching AMD. In case this breaks 80, we'll get out of a little bit and then hold the rest and then see what happens down here at 96.50. But right now it's just dancing around this 97 level. Watch out, the S&P and the NASDAQ both looking to break lower here, which is making me slightly nervous.
A Palantir making a bit of a bounce here, Sean. I see some people in the chat talking about it, but getting to this like 26.40. This was double resistance on the way down, sort of came back up and flushed. So that's a level I'd be watching out for. Right now, Baidu's sort of on the brain here. It's a 178.25 area. Someone asked, were you looking to short it? It's already come back, and yeah, it's 178.25. That's the price range I want to capture. You know what's weird? When I said there wasn't much to look at this morning, Sean, before we went on air, I was oddly enough looking at Sundial doing volume this morning. They paid off. Now they had some positive news because they paid like a $50 million obligation there, and then it was just a fade all morning long. And like, of course, on an actual good day, I'm not shorting this 51 on Sundial off the open. Like, are you kidding me? That gave you a nice little look here. And again, it's a penny stock. So if you can take, 2, 3, 4% on a move, you're happy with it. You just have to use larger shares. It's again done 50 million shares halfway through the day. So well on the way to 100 million, which is certainly good for this name. It's actually starting to come back up to this 50. That's why it popped into the radar. But I should have had this off of 51. Again, you're scalping this for like a penny or two. There are days when you can get more. It's not lately been giving you that, so you sort of adjust your size accordingly, because if you're risking 2 or 3 to make 5 or 10, and then you're going to risking half a cent to a cent to make 1 or 2, you can size that differently, of course, using maybe 2 or 3 times as many shares in the latter sense.
Okay, yeah, no, exactly. And that's what we're talking about, is scalping here. I'm just looking still at AMD. It does able to come right back up. We do get some out there at 8 again. I don't know. I mean, that's just sitting there. And I think when you're scalping and you have orders out, you could get lucky. Like, that just ripped up there and got me some more out. But we still are waiting for this thing to get back high, 97.20. I mean, look, that's kind of the level that we have in mind. No idea if it gets there or not, Neil, but you got to take some kind of risk. And I think that's definitely worth it from my side of things. So let's wait to see here. We still are long at 97.03 right now on this name. So not sure what we're going to do, but I do like it. Let's keep going to the high side now. Check back on Peloton. Our longs were 125 even. We got out of that one on that 126 break. So that's been a good trade for us so far. What's up? Cancel. I was going to say, what's up, Bebo? We just got the cancel in that one as well. CCL, is that still going down? No, CCL on a bounce. We saw that level. I kind of feel silly there because we did see that level back at $20 even, Neil, where there was some nice size there. And I don't think either one of us, I hope you did. I don't think you did, but no. Neither one of us took advantage of that. It was staring us in the face.
Shoot.
So now we're going back to VWAP. Some more work to be done here, but Carnival looking like it may want to make the move back.
Yeah, certainly worth a look there. I don't know if I didn't hear we're going to be going in a second to Valeria for our update, European update that is. But I wanted to quickly touch back. I see some people talking about Vuzi, and of course, Brendan mentioned it. He did come to this one with the Plug Power story. This is kind of what usually, if you ever hear me say a parabolic move into a top wick, and then you're looking for a short, this is kind of what it looks like. So you get one of the bigger moves up right into a fresh high, and then just a sharp retracement and then a consolidation here. and then tapering off volume, which is exactly what's happening. It's done solid volume, but I will be looking at this one for a possible retracement right around here, like this 550 to 560 is where you want to get in, maybe give it to that high of day. So VUSE on the radar, Baidu running away from 178.25, so that might not come in. I think it is time. If you guys can confirm, I get a thumbs up. No, we're not ready yet for a European update, so we'll hold off on Ms. V. We'll have her back in a quick second here. But like I said, Baidu has run away from me. I don't think we'll be taking that one to the south side. Well, I mean, it still could come down, but it just made another push up, about $1 off the level I was looking at, guys. So you still see it consolidating here. This is why I want this breakdown at about that 178.25, but it just bounced off that level. As long as it holds below 180, this trade will still be on. If it breaks 180, then I'm looking for something off the high of the day instead of a breakdown trade. I'd be looking at a fade off the high of the day. Now, we're ready for the European update. Let's go to Ms. V at the big screen.
Hey guys, European shares are mixed as the virus and the Brexit remain in focus. Spain is down 0.23%. France is up 0.03%. Britain is down 0.35%. And Germany is up 0.91%. Volkswagen trading in Germany is up more than 7% after the company's CEO received a unanimous support from the board. Back to traders.
And Volkswagen also involved in QS as well, so some investments there for QuantumScape in Volkswagen. So if you did like that company, wow, QuantumScape today up 9%. Here. I actually, this is the solid state battery. I think the charging, there's something about QuantumScape that people love. So up 8% a bit. You can't trade Volkswagen here. You can find an ADR maybe. I don't even know if they have an ADR.
I don't know if is there an ADR?
I don't remember seeing one, but ADR there over on the OTC markets where today has been pretty good. The market's been falling down here, so we did get out of our AMD there, but yeah, it's still falling. We have a small piece waiting for this 50 to break. When that does, we'll get out, but that one, worked out okay for us, but not swimmingly great because the market did tank there. So we did scalp back and forth. And Neil, that's the advantage sometimes of scalping. You don't have to be married to any of your positions. So we'll watch AMD break here and then get out quickly on this one.
Yeah, and that Virgin Galactic making a higher low here off 26 even. I talked about 25.92 being the low of the day, and then waiting for that to go. But 26 certainly looks like a good one as well. This can likely be scalped into that like 92. So you take some shares, get like a 5. If you get 98s or 99s, you're looking for like a 4 or 5 cent win to that low of day, and then maybe hang on to a little bit when the level breaks to the downside. I'd like it a little better if there was maybe more action on the bid here at 26 even, but that's not anything to sniff at here for at least Virgin Galactic, 30, 40,000 shares on that bid there. So I'll take a quick shot at it. Baidu is coming back, so I might get a shot at that 178.25. Both these would be shorts that would be coming in. Genius Brands bouncing, but that one's been in the money all morning long, still 10% in the money. I just never got that ultimate target of $1.71. I am now going, I wasn't going to take space through 26. I was going to wait for the actual low. Now I'll take it, see a little bit of size, and I can do a little bit of a scalp trade going into that low a day.
All right, the market coming back down right here. So we're wondering about that, but again, not wondering too much. Just looking for some longs if we can get them back here. AMD 96 or so might not be a bad spot, but you see that the NASDAQ coming off. I mean, we're still up 0.42 and AMD's still positive, but off some of those upgrades, I really feel like AMD should continue its ride higher here. So, we've broken below. Apple actually, guys, looks a little bit better here on the daily chart and on our minute chart here. It's broken above VWAP, but look, we do have some spots right now, 125.25. I'm going to go long Apple and use that 125.25 as a possible spot there to get back into that. You did talk about Palantir as well, Neil, making moves here, but I'm going to use some size on Apple there, get long, and then use this 125, maybe 125.09 or so as our out, as we get our orders set up for that one. You did see me punch long right there on Apple. We are now long 125.43 here. It looks like it's going to break, but watch out. I'm just going to get out. I'm not going to let this one fall back down. Our initial long was an Apple through 125. Let's give this one back to 125 actually on that break. But right now, long Apple 125.40. Just seeing if the NASDAQ can hold. If it doesn't, we're going to get out of here super quickly. But here it goes, back to the upside Apple. So let's see, man. We get a NASDAQ bounce. This could go.
I'm going to go with, I don't know, I feel like got to use this at least once a day. He is the GOAT, but want to hit the Brennan GOAT. Look, we finally got that breakdown in Baidu, sort of waiting around for a little bit. The long was fantastic, but I got trailed out. And like I said, one of the biggest, this is one thing I have to go over. I don't care about missing out on some trades, but I do care about getting trailed out of Baidu, because every time I put a trailing stop in, you can't go broke taking profit, but I'm not good. When I'm deep in the money in something and I put a trail in, it is wrong like 80% of the time. It just means it's going to go further. But this trade is more of a scalp trade. I talked about this into VWAP here, so that's why I immediately get out of some of it right at that 177, sort of like 40 mark, quickly take the 50-cent win. Now I can hang on to it. So if it bounces off VWAP, it can't turn into a loser. But if it breaks, I mean, the market here, I'm looking at the ES testing a bottom. The NASDAQ's already rolling over deep. That's why I want to hang on to some of this. If you had a scalp trade, you take some profit out, you're playing with house money, and then the market goes in your favor, you see this big of a gap to fill, why not just hold on to it? You can switch gears if something changes, and what changed is 1250 breaking on the NASDAQ right when Baidu's about to try to take out VWAP on the way back in. This stock was 163 at the close yesterday. We're $14 higher than that. If we can get even a modest gap fill, I'd love to retest this 175, maybe even a bit lower than that. Catch $3 again, which will not be the entirety of the move, but a winner is a winner, and a winner is a chicken dinner winner if we get it.
Yeah, we take all the chicken dinner winners we can here. I'm super sketchy right now on this market, man. I mean, the NASDAQ right here. I mean, to say that we're super sketchy now is a little late to the party, but I mean, it just keeps on bringing the heat to the downside right now. This is the NASDAQ. Let's pull up a 5-minute chart to see where we are here. Some overnight levels, 12.5, 12.470 here. But yeah, we're making moves down. We'll probably get stopped out. This Apple trade is pretty light for me, but yeah, I mean, the NASDAQ still pushing. 5-minute chart, giving some bottoms here of 12,440. Watch out. That's not too far away, about 30 handles. So we're going to keep this one on watch. I guess it's 12,430, I guess, actually, the very bottom. What's up, Bren?
Yeah, market breaking downside. A couple of things also breaking downside at the same point. This one, Snowflake, guys, 324 ended up being resistance there. Big sell volume just went off on Snowflake. And this one as well. We haven't talked about Roku today, but took out the bottom end of the range there, 325 on a volume spike as well. Guys.
Oh, that's whatever. I mean, you can see I'm down on Snowflake, of course. I tried the short and missed it, and that's good. Look, that's the reality. I think you have to have an out to all these levels. If you don't have an out on something like Snowflake, it can get really, really ugly, very, very fast. Certainly, like I said, the market's sort of rolling through. Baidu is now testing VWAP. You're actually seeing a bit of a hold at this level. If it continues to roll over, like I said, about that 175 mark is going to be my out. As the market slides off, not a bad idea to start looking at some of the names that, again, are showing relative strength. I want to throw Boeing into this. Overall, like, remember, this is the ES is dropping now, but it's still positive on the day, whereas like 0.4, whereas the NASDAQ is very close to break even. So leading the move down is tech. Either way, Boeing showing relative strength and trying to go back to positive. It was briefly there a couple of minutes ago before this latest flush. Relative strength is certainly in. Watch at 225 for support. If it does pull back off of this move and the market turns around, you'd love to see Boeing at 225 be able to pick it up for an afternoon run. You might not even get it because it's certainly showing some relative strength, about to go positive again as we speak.
Yeah. I mean, I like Boeing there. We talked about that for a longer-term play. I'm still the only stock that we have on board right now is still just Apple. We'll try to get a little more long and then use this 125. The same spot that we broke out from, we're going to use that as our dropping spot. So a couple pennies lower than 125 if it doesn't go. We're long at 43. I mean, this is $1.40 win or so, $1.38 win there on that top side. So, and we don't have as many shares. We're just sort of dancing right now with Apple. That if it goes to the upside, hell yeah, we'll take some off right around VWAP. But I'm still just trying to see if this can hold. I'm really kind of pissed off because I did put an order down here that I was a little late to the party at, or else we'd have a better average price right now. But okay, we'll just wait for Apple to keep going. If it goes, great. If not, I like this one. Up 3%, leading the Dow today. 30% more iPhone production. I love everything about Apple. The catalysts are literally unlimited for them, in my opinion anyways. Plus, you get some good China rhetoric coming through as well, hopefully with President-elect Biden being finally confirmed, I guess, yesterday by the Electoral College. So we'll wait to see, man. I just think that's great news for Apple and China and the relationship there. So let's just see. I think we have a winner here long term. I always say hold, don't trade Apple, but we'll wait to see on on that one, but right now we're trading it to the high side, 125.85, coming hopefully faster than I think, and we can get out here at some VWAP. But right now, long Apple 125.43 on what I hope to be a NASDAQ rebound. We're still waiting for that 1240 to hit. If that hits, we'll get out.
Yeah, and so sort of along those lines, and I'm going to go with, I don't know, I have an idea, and it works out for you there. Along those lines, if the reason I hung on to Baidu past that, into VWAP, which was going to be the target for that retracement almost every single time I take this trade, the reason I held on for a deeper move was because the futures were coming down. When I saw it bounce and we're still consolidating off VWAP, you just take it out. That was around the original exit that I wanted anyway. So, you're talking about a scalp trade of about $1 here, which is what we end up taking. Got to be happy with it. We'll take that off. That was always going to be the idea. But we were able to get the chance at least to roll it into a deeper move. By canceling a bid the first time through, we still take the same win, so no harm, no foul. Just walking you through that process. Sometimes you got to give yourself the opportunity. You know what? When like a bank error in your favor, like you have a trade on directionally, you get a good entry point, and then something else happens. Maybe you didn't anticipate the market starts rolling over harder. Take advantage of it. It doesn't always work out that way, so you want to make sure you expose yourself to some more upside there on Baidu, which I tried, but still got the same exit. Brendan, what's up?
I mentioned this one earlier, but just bouncing off $4. This ANCN, I noticed some volume coming back in. $4 down here ended up being support on that last little pullback. But this is the one that was picking up that Chemo Mab private company, but just to further one of their recent treatments that they're working on in trial currently for ANCN. So more volume coming back in, guys.
Oh boy, I did want to call up AMD here just to show you guys why it's important to have stops. I mean, look, you could basically have a ruined day if you don't get out of this, because then the next thing you know, it's tanking down and now you're averaging in. And then if the market continues to go down, then your day is gone. Hopefully your week's not gone. But this is kind of the problem, needless to say here. As you're watching some of these stocks go through, you never know. Hold on, just make sure that Apple's going. You never know where the stops are going to come and where they're going to hit. So you got to be definitely careful on that one. So watch out for that. As we go back over to Apple now, this is why we've switched it over here. Apple, nice little runner. We're trying to get it going. We're long still at 43. We're now 20 cents into the money on Apple. So this is looking like a much better play for us here with
John,
Apple.
Can you just put the AMD chart back up again? I got something for it.
Uh-oh, is it going to be...
No, man. I'm talking about a line in the sand. You just talked about
There it is, line in the sand.
I put in the chat there in all caps, and yes, I meant to put all caps in there because I wanted everyone to read it, and I'm going to say it so in case you're not listening, you would have seen it in the chat. Sometimes your best trade is going to be covering. It's not necessarily a winner. It could be covering flat. It could be covering a loss and avoiding what could be abject disaster. I think that's not a bad example there, but you got to have a line in the sand sometimes, no matter how convicted you are in a trade. I love that we can show these examples in real time. So there you go, a good one there. I like the line in the sand graphic, but I feel like I want a Star Trek one, just like the Borg thing, Robbie, of like this far, no farther, Captain Picard. Either way, I don't know. You guys might know that line. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
Getting a little bit quiet here as far as the market's concerned, but this one, guys, Velodyne, just mentioned this one, 14%. There goes day highs, so that 2160, just taking out more volume coming into VLDR.
Okay, we take a little bit there. Whatever, we'll just go money back because we're just adding right now to the pile that is Apple. We are going to be talking about scalping coming up after, and very soon we have another video coming your way. But there it is on Apple, man. We're just trying to get in and out. This is taking a little bit longer to get this scalp trade, but still pretty happy with it. Long here, 44s. Just took some out 58s or 59s there on the out. So now we'll wait. I have another order sitting just before VWAP. So if we're lucky enough to get that on this NASDAQ move down, then that'd be great. What I did there, and again, Neil talked about it a little bit, that is, like Apple, I figured is the strongest NASDAQ stock today. It's up 3%. I mean, there's going to be bigger ones up more, but just what means more to the market is Apple than anything else. I think it's the most influential stock out of any stock. So obviously, as NASDAQ comes down, and if we believe in a rebound, we take all the catalysts here from today for Apple, and that's the one that we picked to go long. Look, I mean, we could lose on it, but that's the rationale there, that if the market does bounce back upside, and that's why we looked at the market. We gave you this 12 12,440 level. And if it bounces off there, I think we'll continue to have a decent win here on Apple. So let's just wait to hold our sort of our cards close to our chest here and just wait to see. Like, if it breaks 25, we'll get out, but there is a chance. My next out, I don't have any other outs until VWAP, which is a 40-cent win, which is the same stop that we'd lose if it does go back to the downside. And then I still think that if the NASDAQ does bounce, we have upside green skies. I said green skies yesterday, but I mean blue skies ahead if we can get upside. Green
skies.
The reason why I'm thinking that is that, if it goes in the money, then we have a green
okay, I see what you're
trade.
saying. Yeah,
but that's not, I mean, green skies makes me think that there's somebody in the building right now, and he's not. I can't find him anywhere. Where is he?
If there's green skies, you're probably working on something that is not that. In whatever, you're imbibing something else if you're seeing green skies. That's all I'm going to say about that. We didn't talk about DoorDash. We did talk about Airbnb. I have not traded AI today, but look at these bottoms here. Look, obviously it was a fantastic long trade if you had it. But 100 current pre-market low is 99.20, but this 100 support looks like maybe it's going to be tested again, and we're grinding down towards it. I would hold off on shorting until maybe the actual break of the low. You got to be all over 99, guys. It is what it is. It's been strong, but these levels have been really good, so that probably does give you a test at 95. I can tell you, if you want to go back, when we were initially looking at AI, 95 was just an unbelievable bounce. When it made the run to 130, guys, this is an unbelievable bounce. I had the long and lost at 100, and I was trying to pick some up at 95, and it just, the second it was within like a shooting or spitting distance of 95, just screamed to the upside. It really never even stopped going. Stalled a bit at 120 and then at 130. So, if it does break that 99, look for 95 again. It's like a $2 or $3 scalp trade. Are you going to have? First things first, 100 would have to break, which has not happened yet. Brendan, what's up?
Another one that just popped up on the volume list here, RVP. This is Retractable Technologies. NYSE ARC Exchange, 15% or 14.25% through 1460, it looks like, volume. This is actually all-time highs for this thing. So that high back there was 1446. So all-time highs today for RVP, guys.
RVD? No, just kidding. RVP.
Yeah.
There you go. Look, so by the way, Sean and I are old enough to be fans of when WWE was cool. I don't know. Maybe some people are still into it. I'm not. But either way, I just gave you some levels on AI, but I want to quickly go over to the one that we didn't talk about today, which was, why are we hitting that? Did we get to a
I don't have that on my. You got to speak to Captain.
You guys are killing me.
I don't know. Yes,
we're supposed to save that for like a good win or something. I don't know if it's going to happen here, but DoorDash is the one name that we haven't talked about, and I can tell you some of the levels are just. It hasn't been as clean as AI or Airbnb has, and that's the only reason not watching it. But you look at this 160, it did break and then give you another hold of that level. The 155 is currently holding now. You are looking at this, 153.50, which would be the bottom break. It's just so much more clean if you look at the same type of idea over there in AI, where you can just short 99 or short 100 and call it a day. So I wouldn't be looking at DoorDash personally. I just think the levels are better for a day trade on Airbnb and C3 AI, which had been the strongest of the three IPOs. Certainly had won the week, but this is a different one.
Guys, here it is, man. Good idea that we had for sure as well on Apple. Look at this, man. We just talked about it, and here it goes. A nice little win here on Apple, still going to the upside. I'm going to address this right now. So for my wedding, I came out as Hulk Hogan. So when we got announced, so needless to say, my father-in-law came out as Big John Studd.
It was cool as all.
There we go. WWF. So there you go. We are big fans.
Speaking of WWF,
I still like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
He's an absolute legend. There also may or may not have been a wrestling move pulled on the dance floor. I was not involved in it, but legend has
one
it
of our
that
chaotic friends.
someone might have been was a pile driver.
No,
it wasn't a pile driver. It was a.
Who knows, man?
I don't know. It was a wrestling move that got pulled on the floor.
As long as it's not one of those Randy Macho Man Savage elbows off the top rope there as we get a little distracted.
I want to throw someone on the bus here if I quickly can, because we have 10 minutes left, and I got to say this. It was very cool to have those entrances to WWF. It's a big thing. I got shot down, and so kudos to you, Marissa, to my wife. My one dream was to walk in to the Soul Glow music of the saxophone from, if you haven't seen Coming to America, it's fantastic, it's hilarious. The kibosh got put on that, somehow would have ruined the wedding day, so I'll save it for another day. Maybe we'll put that music on for me, Robbie, but I feel like if you tried it would break people's ears if they had headphones on. Check it out, Soul Glow. The funniest part of Coming to America, in my personal opinion.
Yes, yes. Coming to America, great movie. I can't believe you got denied there.
It would have been awesome.
It would have been. I mean, that's the thing, but okay. I don't get denied too often from the wife, but we'll wait to see on that one. We'll see what's cooking for dinner here. If she's watching, see, we'll put that on. Alibaba, people talking about this one at 2-month lows or 4-month lows. I like this one. I want to add to my longer-term portfolio. This is a name that we liked, and we put it in there at 260. We'll wait to see the bottom. What is this, 240 right now? Jake the Snake Roberts, hell yeah. I mean, everybody, man. There's a good autobiography, and obviously we've talked about this many times, but Ric Flair, in order to be the man, you must beat the man. So I like Alibaba down here of the long-term play. $240 would be really sweet. I'm not going to add anything to my longer-term account until we get to there. I think, like I said, I think the market's going to pull back for a little bit right now. Apple back upside, still not really moving. We only have 8 minutes to go right now. Rocket companies. That didn't break, but it was awfully close. We have the right level here, guys. I mean, this 2260 came again a couple minutes ago. We're going to wait, but if this takes out the top, someone asked, am I going to take this long after the show? Yes. I mean, I'm not planning on canceling this, but we are going to go live with our scalping video. I know Valeria's been doing that in a couple minutes. This is your ultimate guide to scalp trading. So if you are interested a little bit on, why do we get in and out so fast there? Why do we dump our shares early? What are some different strategies? Yesterday I had Peloton. I held that all through the afternoon, took a $2 winner eventually. Today we scalped through it. So there are different ways to trade. Always more than one way to skin a cat. I don't really like that reference, but there is. One shout out to William, my cat. 126.
I'd love to know where that comes from, that saying. I think it's horrible.
It must be an old school thing. Yeah, it's kind of horrible. 126.05 right now. If Apple can get going, we'll watch it. I still like this call for the rest of the day.
I think it might have been Pam asking about this AQB, and it's just the second time someone's talked about Apple Bounty here, and whether it was a good short. And I sort of ho-hummed over it and then ended up not looking at it, and it was a fantastic retracement. But whoops, I kind of went the wrong way here. I was meant to zoom the other way on Aqua Beauty. You get a clean trend like this, and wow, we just got another milestone for likes. I'm going to always like jumping into weakness. It just made a fresh break through 7. Well, at least it tried to anyway. So if you look at the pullback in, it would try to have some support on this pullback at 7 even. Now it's testing that level. It just hasn't done crazy a volume. There was the first spike through. And it got you to like 685, but if there's any follow through 7 even, not a bad look here. You maybe give it to VWAP and then continue the flush, but that's a big test that's happening today. It's already come in quite a bit, but the trend is very, very clear on Aqua Beauty, Aqua Bounty, sorry, I should say. So I like it. You have to give it 15 or 20 pennies, which kind of means you are needing to hold through a break of the low of the day if that's what you're looking at. So it might take you all day to get there. We only have a few minutes left to go, guys. I thought I was like seconds away. Well, I thought I was seconds away from getting triggered into Virgin Galactic. It's still holding this 26, like 1, 2, 3 times it's tested it. It's not a gigantic amount of size. I am trying to scalp this trade. I want 98s or 99s into 25.90, where I'd be going long if the low of the day, short if the low of the day breaks. That, of course, is 25.92. I rounded down to that even number because that's the way I like to play it. But I am definitely going to be all over this short. The key thing about this break is I won't put an order all the way down to 95. I either get 98 or 99 or I don't want it. So that's because the low of the day is right there. It's a pure scalp play at this time of day. In and out really quick, hopefully, on Virgin Galactic. But for now, 26 holding.
Yeah, and I just want to show you guys, I'm out now. 20, 40, 60, 80. We have 20% left of Apple. This is going to be a winner. I didn't like that last headline. I don't know if Brendan's going to come with it about New York City, but let's throw it over.
I mentioned that and one other thing, but yeah, New York City's mayor saying a pause is needed, especially over the Christmas holiday when it comes to getting together with your friends and family and also on the retail side of things. So no other details as far as that is concerned, but we'll keep an eye on New York. Remember we were talking about it yesterday that they were very, very strongly considering an entire shutdown again for New York City, so not good. Also wanted to share this one with you. Infinera Corporation. This one's been on a bit of a tear. They did a deal with a company called Broadband Tower. which is in Tokyo in Japan. This spike just came in, however, from 10 to 10:30. So going to double check on this, but 4.25%. This news came out a couple days back. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row now. INFN straight higher, guys.
Yes, definitely going to give us something to watch in the afternoon session. Like we did mention a couple times, of course, we're going to be right back. Basically, the show's ending in 5 minutes, and we'll be right back in there in 5 minutes after that for another educational video. But I wanted to go over this name here, VUZI. Of course, Brendan mentioned this already, the deal, of course, with Plug. It's pulling right back into VWAP. I think it's going to be an interesting test. We talk about names that might give you that afternoon push. In the event that we can hold like 525, maybe 515 to 525 or so in and around this VWAP area, and then pick up on a volume spike off of that level, that's when you can get those secondary pushes, the afternoon run, as you like to call it, whether it's a little closer to the power hour or just before that. VUZI is on the VUZI is on the radar for that move. At least for now, it's got to hold the bottom, but it's the only one I see. I'm sure there's a couple of other ones that are doing the same thing. Right now, my eyeballs are on Virgin Galactic, which again is trying to break 26. Man, that level is not a lot of size, but it's definitely holding up rather nicely. Again, this is like the third or fourth test of that level.
Yeah, Apple's still going to the high side as well. We did get out of our Rolls Royce. It's absolutely doing nothing. We keep coming back here because sometimes if the pink sheets are doing volume, then we can get some nice moves. But like in and out, like these are all flat trades. Nothing to be had there on that stock, but you might have seen me in it. We did talk about Alibaba. The AMD bottom here was nice. I got to zoom out here as we go. Apple right now, 40 cents in the money. So that was well worth the risk, and I'm glad that we scalped some of that off for 30 cents. But AMD still hovering around. I mean, look, I got nervous about Apple. I don't even know why it's this 40 cents now in the money and breaking VWAP. I repeat, do not like that New York news there. If they shut that down, I don't think that actually does anything for the market. It's just the mentality, right, of shutting things down and then all of a sudden not getting people, where they need to be at the right times during this holiday season. So just watch out here for the market slipping in the afternoon. I don't really like its chances of staying positive here.
Yeah, I mean, when you get a pull back like you just saw on the NQ at least, certainly you are threatening positive. That's the reason why I'm not actually going long on Virgin Galactic off this level. And normally I could be taking ones and twos and just scalping it all the merry day along, maybe getting a few pennies here and there. Certainly, one of the things that detracts from that is, and maybe we'll talk about this in the video, so I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to anyways. A lot of the prints to the upside are coming through all these like dark pool prints. So it's not as if on the buying and the bouncing of a couple of pennies here or there, you're getting a lot of lit volume, so the orders that you see, it's just a lot of dark pool volume, which means it could be hard to scalp out of it. That makes me like the short a little bit because you're not actually getting real shares out for anybody that's taking this long trade yet anyway. So I like that 26 just a little bit more, and if it does eventually break, of course, it just can't seem to do it. I'm going to leave you guys with going quickly back into Snowflake here. Not that I'm going to take this trade, but Snowflake trying to break through pre-market tops. If it does break out from here, yesterday's close 329, it has tested that a couple of times. And then if you look into the afternoon, look at this range. It was range bound probably from about 10 o'clock till the end of the day with a 336, 337 top. That would be the next level for me. So like maybe 330 break takes you to that. It's an unbelievable run. But, people know when the lockup period is going to come in, and sometimes it's like, people talk about sell the news. In the case of a lockup, it can be to buy it as well. But the flush came in deep. Sean talked about $3, or 306, sorry. That was a monster call because it's like a $25 push, and possibly counting 330 to 337 would be what I'd be watching in the afternoon on Snowflake. Miss V, what's up?
Hey guys, thank you very much for all the support and love. We're so honored to have such a great community. We'll be back with you right after the show with some live educational class. You can find the link at the live chat on our Twitter page or on the YouTube community page. We'll see you there, and happy National Cupcake Day everyone.
All right. Yeah, National Cupcake Day. I like cupcakes. Not my favorite dessert or treat, but the kids love cupcakes. Good for portion control because hopefully you can only eat one, so you don't need to go back for more cupcakes. The snow call, definitely, and we'll get to Neil. I just want to say thank you to Alvaro there. Neil just mentioned it. I did call snow at 3:05. I don't know if we all did, but we looked at that snowflake at 3:05. We did call that. I got some Greg over there I know has it and got out, but a good call on snowflake. And the reason why we looked at some of these levels downside here, which was right here, 3:05. These little levels right there, it bounces off that and rips up $23 from there. So good luck on that. Neil, I think you're pretty much a fan of sweets, so you must like cupcakes.
You know I love me a good cupcake. I wish we were having it for dessert, but we do have to run. We are coming right back in about 5 minutes or so. Well, we're going to take a quick bathroom break, and we'll come right back to drop a little educational content for you guys. But I got to go down the line before we do it. For Miss V, for my man Sean Katina, for Brennan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts on Blue Shirt Day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live, and we'll see you in 5 minutes. We're right back, guys.